council and the board to discuss what your duties.
Sarah Teal, you have 2 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Teal. I'm sure many of you probably recognize me. I was active for some time in our local community trying to fight for the rights of neighbors in this local political system. I moved away about a year ago, but have intermittently checked in with the hope that positive changes may be occurring that would offer relief to people in the neighborhood that I grew to care about. I haven't been back to one of these meetings in person or commented since I left a year ago because I was weary of the injustice and the stubborn adherence to the status quo. I am back tonight because I became aware of agenda item number 13. It appears that there is some intent to defame Director Faub by claiming that she inappropriately used confidential information. Director Faub was not only elected to this board by the largest margin of voters the district has ever seen at the polls, but she has fought tirelessly in the face of great opposition to spend taxpayer dollars appropriately, to hold contractors accountable, to stand up against district practices that don't adhere to the federal and state law, and to speak up for vulnerable neighbors who are being abused by the current system. Studies have shown that our human nature does indeed make it hard to undo the status quo of ingrained systems, even if we know they are harmful. Throughout history, important people who have chosen not to conform have been condemned and vilified by their communities, even when they are fighting for what was right. I hope that going forward, Director Faub is not alone in making the hard choice to stand for what is just instead of conform for the sake of security. Thank you.
Gerald Burgess.
I have some exhibits. Is that okay? I show my exhibits?
Sure.
Oh, sure. I think I have to hold it. Let's see how this works.
Can you hold it a little higher so we can see the other?
Oh, well, I'm going to show it later.
Oh, okay.
They're separate. Hold on 1 second.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Or loud or both.
I know. I'm a very quiet person. I've been practicing yelling, but that's only my son, so go ahead. This picture is a property that's on Birch in Section 2. It has multiple deed restriction violations. It's lovely, right? These violations have been going on for a year plus. The man down the street says he's afraid to let his children play in the front yard due to the people that live in this property. Rumors are that there are interference with the deed restrictions enforcement for this property. Is anybody on the board aware of that? Rhetorical question. Director Faub and some of her supporters have campaigned on elimination of deed restrictions and not enforcing deed restrictions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if successful, this attraction will be in your neighborhood soon, causing your $500,000 property values to tank. The second picture.
Can we see that picture back here? Yes. Sorry.
You're going back.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. Thank you.
Second picture, as you can see, a boat is parked in the street. Director Faub has argued that the MUD cannot enforce deed restrictions on public streets. That's false. No county law exists that prohibits such enforcement by a MUD. If this idea prevails, then anyone can park any boat, trailer, large truck in the street in front of any property for an indefinite period of time in front of anybody's property in this district. The Sheriff's Department has no authority to prevent that. There will be people parking boats and trucks in front of people's houses who don't want them there. Freedom. Mrs. Shannon the ACC has received your email stating you will not obey the deed restrictions in your section. Per your public comments of last year, that would be a violation of a director's oath of office to uphold the U.S. Constitution. For a wannabe MUD director, that email is self-incriminating. The words due process are in the Constitution only once, and Director Faub and Mrs. Shannon are such legals. Mrs. Shannon and others are working with Mrs. Faub. We know I have experts who can determine if two documents were written by the same person, despite who reads them. We have presented these documents.
Okay.
I gave you.
All right.
Okay, Rose.
Did y'all hear me
Rosemary.
though? Did y'all hear me?
Yes, we heard you.
Yes, that was great, Gerald. Thank you.
Okay, a month ago, I asked about this trailer. I have not heard a thing, right or wrong, whatever. When do I get some answers? Art, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, the 18-wheeler,
Yeah, that's correct. So, who knows
Can-
enough
can I
about
invite
deed
her?
restrictions is what I'm asking.
I'm sorry, we didn't hear what you're talking about,
It's a big, I call it 18-wheeler trailer, enclosed, and they're moving them in the backyards now.
oh, okay.
And,
Container.
pardon me?
It's like a big container.
Oh, yeah, it's like,
For tiny homes.
no. These are the kind that go out on the highway.
We're not even going to address that.
The big, enclosed.
Parking
They're coming
them.
in the backyards.
They're
Yes.
parking them in the backyard.
Yes. And I want to know if this is legal because I said, I want one, if it is. And I can't get any answers. So I don't know who does deed restrictions or knows what our deed restrictions are, but. And then, okay, the next thing. Megan, I talked to you several months ago about this stormwater drainage that is being blocked. I was ordered to either cut my fence off or ACC would do it for me. Then I got a lawsuit from Bill Flickinger. You can't come into my backyard and ACC do this. I want a new fence. If I don't get it, I'm filing a lawsuit. And now that waterway is blocked with cement blocks from the neighbor on the other side. Why was I ordered to cut my fence? The engineers said your fence was there first.
2 minutes.
Everybody answers on that one, didn't I?
Okay, and David Flores, you have 2 minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A little disappointed that our agenda has changed, like Matt said, without the people being notified. I expected the directors to make decisions, not Zach Evans to make decisions, or do it as a group, as a community, as votes that you have. But it was a little discouraging seeing that. Ladies and gentlemen of the public, they will not answer their constituents. They will not discuss and have communication with their people in front of all of you, recorded in public, because they don't want to hold themselves accountable. If we got answers from them right now, we could hold them accountable and say, hey.
Mr. Flores, will you address the board, please? Address the board. That's all I'm going to say.
So if we have it on video, we can hold them accountable, hold you guys accountable. So I would like to discuss the bad tactics that Infomark uses and their whole billing system. There is no, our rate order says that we should have the right to a hearing, and that is not on our water bill. Infomark came and tried to disconnect me after I made a payment, and that $200 was attached to, they put it in my deposits. They didn't apply it to my water bill. I paid my water on time, and they came trying to turn it off, and they even called the cops on me to turn off my water. They threatened me to remove my car with a tow truck, and all these things that are not cool. It's not.
Okay, thank you, David. Okay, at this time, I'm going to close agenda item 5, the citizens' communications, and I'm going to turn the rest of the meeting over to our general counsel.
Thank you, Madam President, directors, good evening, members of the public. Thank you all for being here. I'm just going to briefly go over agenda item number 3, duties and responsibilities of the district's general counsel. Suffice it to say, it's pretty abnormal for me to take the helm and run a board meeting. I think Mr. Whittington can speak to that, and it's not something I take lightly. It's not something I want to do, even. You may not think that, but I trust me. This is not the role I want to be involved in. I don't want to chair meetings. I don't want to have to handhold. I don't want to do any of this. But I do think that based on what I've seen, heard, and experienced myself, I do think that it would be useful to extricate the directors themselves from leading the meetings, and in that event, any rocks that you would like to throw, you can throw at me instead of these individual directors. I think everybody's here to do their job. I take them at their word that they are here in good faith. They've served, just like Ms. Fobb, Mr. Medrano, all these directors, they're all here because they want to be, not because they have to be, much like yourselves, okay? So with that said, I want you to also keep in mind, I'm not on anyone's side. I'm on the district side. I'm on the side of the law. There are certain things that I will point to that I think do deserve my speaking up and addressing the board and the public on, but there's certain things that I may decline to speak to, even if asked by a director. Finally, keep in mind, I do not owe a duty to any one of you. I do not owe a duty to any single director. I owe a duty to this district. I represent the district, and therefore I represent the public. Therefore, if you hear something that sounds like it is slanted in one direction or the other, it's because I'm advising you based on the law. Fair enough? Fair enough. All right. Item number 1 for business before the board is, item number 4 is a resolution adopting rules of order governing the transaction of district business. Directors, you do have an item in your packets at page 4. We sent these out several days ago. My hope is that everybody had a chance to review them. What we're going to do in the absence of having formally adopted these rules, we're going to kind of stick to some informal rules, whereby I will try to mirror what's laid out here in an effort just to kind of keep things fair and everybody kind of has a guidepost as to which direction we're going to go. But in short, I'll introduce the item. I'm not going to have a whole lot to say because, like I said, we presented it to directors. We expect y'all to read everything we send out ahead of time and be prepared for these discussions. So I may have touched on this before whenever we came to interview, but the intent and purpose of the rules of order is to keep your meetings focused and to make sure that no one person is monopolizing conversation and make sure that everyone has an opportunity to speak on the agenda items that they wish to speak on. What I'd like to do, and again, this is kind of envisioned in these rules, if an agenda item is brought forward by a particular board member, I would expect that board member to lay that item out, to describe what the issue is, to present it to the public. Once that person has been speaking for 3 minutes, then I will ask that person, if they haven't concluded, to draw their remarks to a close, and then I will systematically go around the room, ask for questions, comments, concerns from the other directors who will also have 3 minutes. If you have questions, that counts against your 3 minutes, okay? So our goal tonight is not to solve the world's problems, but instead to address some long outstanding items, such as your minutes. Make sure that you're doing the absolute minimum, which is making sure that you're paying your invoices and your bills to your vendors. And if there's anything if we get to a certain point and we feel like it looks like we've hit loggerheads, or if it looks like we just come to an end of anything productive, I'll make such an announcement and I'll expect the board to adjourn accordingly. Okay. Last but not least, and I should have mentioned this previously, so far in my experience, the audience has been very cooperative, and I hope that continues. Please recognize, however, though, this is a public meeting. Interruptions will not be tolerated. Yelling out, interrupting, holding up signs of profanity certainly will not be permitted. I will give one person one warning. If they violate again the rules of decorum or disturb the meeting after that, I will have the deputy escort that person out, and that goes for directors too. Okay? All right. On to business. So, rules of decorum, like I said, they address several items. They spell out the fact that you do have your regular meetings held on the third Wednesday of each month. It makes provision for special and emergency meetings. That is dictated by state statute, quite frankly, so there's not a whole lot there that we even really have to digest. The order of business is what we propose is what McGinnis Lockridge typically uses, is kind of the order of business that we follow. If the board wants to move that around, we certainly can, but nothing ever prevents the board from taking items out of order if the president and or the board so choose. Again, we've spelled out some rules of enforcement as far as the rules of decorum are concerned, and again, that speaks to disruptive behavior. We do have provisions in here that limit the length of comments to 3 minutes for each director, as well as 2 minutes for public comment. Obtain the floor. If you wish to speak and it's not your turn to speak, then you need to be recognized by the chair. But like I said earlier, the goal here is going to be the person who has the agenda item to introduce will speak, and then we'll do a round robin. So in theory, we shouldn't have to get too deep into the weeds about how to obtain the floor, because everybody's going to get a chance. Okay, so those are my brief remarks. I will start with Director Fobb for questions, comments, concerns.
If I'm not mistaken, and I could be because I read a lot, I think in this rules of order you have a 2-minute limit for director discussion. Double check me on that. And I was going to ask who changed the meeting time to 6:30 and who changed the agenda outside of a public meeting.
Okay, so to your first question, 4.8, it does lay out 3 minutes there.
Okay, good.
Okay, and what was your other question?
Who changed the start time of the meeting and the agenda public comment?
Were y'all not always meeting at 6:30?
No, we were meeting at 6.
6, yeah.
Okay, your DRC previously was
It was
posted for
6.
6, but your regular meetings were previously posted for 6:30, so that's what
Exactly
we went.
reversed.
Yeah.
That's what we went off of.
Yeah,
Exactly
you had it
reversed.
backwards.
Okay, then that's
Okay.
our fault then. We'll remedy that in the future.
Let me just say, I love the 6:30 start time better, if that's possible.
If y'all want to stick to that, then that's what we've got laid out
Would
here.
we not need
Is
a
that-
vote of the board?
We're going to get there, okay? Does that please the board, meeting at 6:30?
Yes.
Okay, issue solved.
I like to.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. And your last question was who changed the agenda?
The agenda that changed the public comment period to a mere 2 minutes.
We put that forward, McGinnis Lockridge did, based on how we operate. Again, this is the board's decision to make. If y'all want to have 20-minute comments, that's fine. I don't really care one way or the other. I work by the hour, so I don't care how long you want to talk. But what I have seen, though, is that y'all tend to have a lot of public comment and long meetings, and so this is our effort to crib that. And so my advice to the board would be to leave it at 2 minutes for now, and once we reach some level of a balance where meetings are clicking along as they should, where we're not having infighting and drama coming up, then maybe you think about extending your public meetings. But again, these are your rules for as a board to decide.
My question was, how was that is set by a resolution, as I recall, how was that changed without a vote of the board?
I made that decision.
You made that decision?
I made that decision. I advised the president accordingly.
I see. Okay, that's interesting. And I really didn't have any other issue with it, except I did have one question. This
Yes,
is basically just meeting decorum. Nothing in it, but it's referred to as the business of the district. And there's so many other things that are missing, like committees making decisions and obligating district funds. Are you preparing another document for that?
No, I'm not. And despite the agenda language, if you look at your cover page of your rules of order, it just says rules of order.
Exactly.
And the rules of order are in place to carry out the district business, so.
So it doesn't address all the other aspects?
No, ma'am, definitely not intended to do that, no, ma'am.
Is there another document that you use in other districts that address that? And an example would be committees making decision and obligating district funds.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said, and an example would be committees obligating the district.
That's not anything we'll address in rules of decorum.
Okay,
ma'am.
no, I asked was, do you have another document that you use in your other districts that address that?
We have variations, yes, ma'am.
Do you think that's something we could adopt here?
I confess, I forgot to start the timer, so I'm going to say we got about a minute left. Fair?
I'm pretty much done when you
Okay.
answer that question.
Okay. And what was your question? Do we have other documents that cover that? Yes, we do.
And are you willing to implement them here?
I don't implement them. Okay, that's up to y'all to decide. If you have a resolution that you want to put forward to the board, then I suggest you do that. We'll put an agenda item on it, and then the board can deliberate accordingly.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Madrano.
I have no issues yet.
All right, President Frankie.
No, I don't have any issues either.
All right, Ms. Dudo.
You answered the one question I had, so.
Ms. Jones.
I don't think so.
Okay. With everybody having the opportunity to discuss and/or ask questions, is there a motion on the table? The motion would be to adopt the rules, to amend them, to table
Okay.
them, to...
Okay, I move that we adopt the rules of order as presented.
All right, President Frankie makes the motion to adopt the rules as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, and Mr. Madrano seconds. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Bob,
Yes.
Director Madrano,
Yes.
Director
Frankie?
Frankie,
Yes.
Director Dudo,
Yes.
and Director Jones.
Yes.
All right, the ayes have it, the vote is unanimous. You have rules of order and procedure. Item number 6, consent agenda. I know in the past, you'll have not typically had a consent agenda. Our goal is to get you on one. Y'all have committees that review several different things, and I believe the bills and invoices are certainly one of them. Ideally, we'd like to be able to get those into your consent agenda at some point, but we thought that might be a dramatic step at this point for this particular board and this particular meeting. So, for tonight's purposes, the only consent agenda items you have are the outstanding minutes, and there seemed to be a little bit of confusion about what the board has or has not adopted. Quite frankly, I don't care, but what I do care about is that we do have some record in the minutes, in new minutes, that shows that these were adopted. So that's why these are on here. So I believe we did, Suzanne, correct me if I'm wrong, we did send out a draft and then along with that, a red line subsequently?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Again, we're presuming everybody took the time to review the minutes, mark up their questions accordingly. We'll start with Director Fobb.
Who redlined the minutes?
I believe that was Director Frankie.
So we changed the way we present minutes to the public, and we did that without a board vote as well.
Are your questions about the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your question about the minutes?
We changed the format.
No, that's not a question about the minutes.
Yeah, the
No,
minutes.
it's not. That's not a question about the minutes.
Okay.
We can do this all night, okay?
That's not necessary.
Okay, okay. Do you have a question about the substance of the minutes?
No.
Okay. Director Madrano.
I do not.
Director Frankie.
No.
Director Dudo.
Yeah, I just found a couple things. September 15th minutes, I think there
Give
was,
me a page.
Yeah.
let me see if I can, sorry, there's so much.
So they start on 64.
Yes, thank you. And I had page 3. Page 3, second paragraph, Director Fobb would like higher budgets for parks, security, and the Hatch Pond lift station work. I'm pretty sure Director Fobb did not ask for a higher budget for parks.
Okay, well, hold on.
So-
Can you let me know what
Yeah.
page in the packet you're referring to?
So-
Yeah, 66, I'm sorry. It's,
66.
yes.
Director Fobb, would you concur with Director Dudo's remark there?
Probably. What was the minute, month, and date?
This was our actual budget adoption meeting, September,
Should be on page
15.
66.
Yeah, 66 of that packet.
yeah.
Or that minute packet.
Yeah, I would agree that I would not vote for more funds in the bar.
Okay, so would it be your wish that we strike that?
Yes.
Just
Go with the
one
board?
sentence.
Okay, that one sentence, okay.
Yeah, and just a couple others. Now, these I haven't been able to confirm because they were so long ago, and I would have had to watch the meeting, but the May 19th meeting, which, see if I can find it.
24.
Yes, page 24. And so on page 25, for items 3 and 4, there were some, the formatting of these is much different than the other ones, and it's a little bit hard to tell where the motions are and so forth. But a couple of these items say that Catherine voted no on something that I just don't think she would vote no on. It's kind of like, it's like an infrastructure thing, which is your committee. So I don't know, because it uses initials CF, and I wonder if it was meant to be LF.
Oh,
So,
I've sort of had that, I'm sorry, I'm talking out of turn. I've sort of had the same, wondering if, because I think I ran into a couple of those also, where it's like, I think they meant to put an L and not a C.
right.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't think Catherine voted no on that.
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what we want to do about that.
So, Director Fobb, do you have any input on that, whether that might have been a typo and maybe it's supposed to be an LF?
I couldn't tell you, and it's too far back, and therefore I didn't read anything other than the February 14th minutes, because
Okay.
I too would have to watch the meeting videos to know
That's
if
fair.
they were accurate.
That's fair. So my advice, I don't see anything in here that would have changed the outcome of that vote. So regardless of whether it's accurate or not, it's pretty much inconsequential, and the court would tell you the same thing.
Okay.
So my advice would be, I'm sorry, and if you've got about 1 second left if you have others, but my advice would be to adopt them as amended with that previous amendment, striking Director Fobb's comment from that previous. Is that the board's druthers? Okay. Director Jones, do you have any comments, questions about the minutes? Okay, with that said, I will entertain a motion on the consent agenda. Not everybody at once.
Well, I read them, okay, I'll move that we, how do you say this?
Accept the
Consent.
consent agenda?
Yep, that'll work. That'll do
Okay.
it.
Okay, I'll second that.
All right. We have a motion by Director Madrano and a second by President Frankie. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Now, I don't get these names down. Okay, we're gonna start this way. Director Jones? Yes. Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Frank?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fox?
I'm going to abstain from a vote. The minutes are so old, I cannot validate them without looking at the meeting videos.
Okay. And I do appreciate you, Director Fobb, taking note, I guess, of the rules that y'all adopted, which do require directors to explain when they're abstaining, if they're not abstaining for a legal reason. If we ever have to go back and discuss what the difference is between a legal reason to abstain and other reasons, well, I'm happy to do that, but Director Fobb has taken well to that already, so. All right, moving right along. Number 7, financial report and possible action items. Item A is payment of bills and invoices. This is in for Mark's ball to carry. All right, Mr. Luft, take it away.
Financials have been handed out, and
Mr. Luft, I'm going to keep you to the same rule as everybody else, okay? 3 minutes.
oh, wow, that's fun. All right, page 5 shows that the revenues for the month are about 37,000 under budget. That's primarily property tax we collect so much early. For the year, we're actually 30,000 over budget on property tax, so the overall revenue is only short about 4,000. Administrative expenses for the month were about 22,000 over budget. Part of that is 16.5 of that was the auditing service that came in at a different month than they put in the budget. For the year, we're 14,000 under budget for administrative expenses. Operating and maintenance expenses were about 15,000 under budget for the month, 45,000 under budget for the year. System maintenance, 22,000 under budget for the month, which brings us up to 12,000 under budget for the year. We were over budget previously. The park and expenses are all under budget. And so the bottom line for the district is that the district is about 2,000 better than budget for the month and 122,000 better than budget for the year. Moving on to page 11, the property taxes. The district's slightly ahead of its collection rate of last year at almost 97%. We have every reason to believe that the district will end at 99% as budgeted, and it will end up substantially over budget in that line item. In terms of your cash flow, you can see that we've hit the point of the year where our tax collections have come in and we'll be drawing down. The blue line on page 13 will start drawing down to the red line for the 6-month reserve. We're hoping that in the next few years, we'll be able to run the surpluses that we need in order to draw that up to the 12-month reserve. Page 14 shows the operating fund balance we projected in the budget, but we'd end at roughly 2.4 million. Right now, we're
1 minute, Mr. Love.
that will end at 2.46 million. Pages 15 through 23 are the checks for approval this meeting. Worth noting that check number 5504 to Infomart was picking up an invoice, 3 pieces of an invoice that were not paid last month. It automatically came into the system. I meant to void it before it got onto this, but we talked with the Bills and Invoice Commission. We don't have the information we need to correct that yet, so we're suggesting that you void check 5504 until we get the information from Alterman to correct that. And that will bring the check register, which is presently at 484, 444, 30, to 447, 991, 14. And I'll recalculate that to be sure. The transfers are on pages 24 and 25 and 26. And the rest of the report is irrelevant.
Well, as with your report, Mr. Love, and as with McGinnis's report, these were distributed prior to the meeting. Am I wrong about that?
Yes.
Wait, I'm wrong, or they were distributed prior?
They were distributed.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very well. That said, we have Mr. Love's input. 3 minutes to each director with any questions, comments, concerns. Director Fobb, would you like to start? I keep picking on you first. I'm always happy to switch it up
Yeah, why
if
don't
you
you
like.
switch it around so I can do
Yes,
the
ma'am.
quick flip.
Director Jones. Okay. Director Dudo?
I guess Catherine and I, as the Bills and Invoice Committee, just did want to bring up that we're thinking we might want to take a look at our rate orders. Is that right, Mackenzie? To revisit the rules associated with if a tech is called out to perform work and the work ends up being the responsibility of the customer, under what circumstances do we charge the customer for that work? The language that we have in the current rate order is outdated. It has some language that doesn't apply to us anymore because we're not a brand new district. So I don't know what laws apply to changing some of those things, but we kind of just wanted to clean it up and revisit the policies. So Catherine and I were thinking that it would be appropriate to send that to Infrastructure Committee to look at.
Okay.
It can be either infrastructure or management, which is still the same two of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I
all right.
think it would probably fall better under management.
Okay, we'll make a note in the minutes that you requested that to be referred over, and then if you'd like to put forward a recommendation and a product for the board to consider at the next meeting, I can work with you on that, obviously, if you need help drafting anything, but otherwise, we would look to you for some direction at the next meeting on that item.
Okay,
Is
so
that
it'd be management, so who's on management, Catherine?
These two,
Art,
yeah.
so I
Okay,
would-
okay. I'm sorry, I was blaming you. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Is that good with the committee?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Director Dudo?
That's what I have, thank you.
All right. Director Franklin?
And the only thing that I was going to add was, one of the things that, we spent an awful lot of time discussing is, when do you, if it goes into overtime, and the whole concept of if you see something, you say something. We don't want to discourage residents from reporting, hey, I got water pooling in my backyard, and it turns out to be from some other place, and it's like, we cannot charge that resident. We don't want anybody to feel that they're going to be penalized for saying something. So that's one of the reasons that we decided that we needed to take a look at some of the nitty-gritty details and make it easier. One of the things I'm hoping that when we go through this whole concept of rewriting our rate order is we get rid of all the historical stuff that's not in effect anymore. I don't want to see it. It just clouds the problem, clouds the situation. Okay, I'm done.
All right.
Catherine, we didn't understand what you last said back here. I'm sorry.
If you want to repeat yourself
Okay,
briefly, you can.
okay,
Just,
so-
folks, just keep in mind, this is the board's time to deliberate.
Right.
I'm sorry if you didn't hear. I'll ask the
Yeah.
board to speak up, but please,
Okay.
no interruptions, please.
Okay, so the format of the rate order that our previous general counsel was using was to not pull out stuff that was being changed. It was to keep adding the new stuff. And so when you read our rate order, you see the rates from way far away. You see rules that have been superseded and replaced by new rules. And it's I find it confusing to look at. So I'm hoping that as part of redoing a rate order, that we end up with a document that is much easier for everybody to look at so that we're not seeing rates from 5 years ago or whatever, and rules that have been superseded, that are no longer in effect because they've been superseded by something else. That's my goal.
Okay, all right, thank you, Director Frankie. Director Medrano, do you have any comments?
I just want to clarify, so we're actually going to change the verbiage or language in the rate order to be updated with the current.
Yeah, we're gonna try to move to verbiage that is reflective of a district that is totally built out and is not adding new connections.
Okay, mature district, basically.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Is this something you want on your agenda at the next meeting?
Yes.
I think so.
So, it's on the next meeting, because are you gonna include, do you take care of revising it, or are you sending it over? Because I know that your fire fees or rate has increased, and my understanding that's a pass-through, so you need to increase that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, like I said, McGinnis can help with the drafting where needed
Okay.
and where appropriate, but, as with all things, if you are willing to do a little legwork, you save yourself and your taxpayers a little cash.
Okay.
All right. Director Medrano, was that the end of your questions or comments?
No, I just want that clarification.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. And Director Fobb, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Questions or comments?
Yes, ma'am, you got 3 minutes.
The comments that I would like to add to this month's bills and invoices is almost $40,000 of billing errors or omissions, including that Alterman $36,000 worth of invoices. It's kind of repetitive, the same mistakes over and over. I look to you for some direction on contract interpretation, because I can't validate things unless I am sure that I'm looking at the contract correctly, and you did not answer me. So there are several tonight that I cannot validate because of that, and I think we need to focus on our contracts to make it much easier for our contractors to bill us properly and for us to be able to validate their contract or their bills.
Okay.
Okay,
Anything else?
that'll do.
Okay. With that said, I will entertain a motion on the payment of bills, invoices, fees, et cetera.
Can I verify that, Michael, that the number is correct?
I can verify that I've now run a calculator on it that says 447,991.14, which I believe is what I said.
447?
447,991.14.
Okay.
Make a motion. All right.
I make a motion to accept the register for $447,991.14. Is that correct?
Yes, and then part of the same motion, the transfers on pages 24, 25, and 26, or do you want them separate?
I think be part of the same motion would probably be, it's the way we usually do it, am I wrong? Okay.
To, the payment transfers that are here.
Pages 24, 25, and 26.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I motion to pay the 225,000?
Yes.
Well, there's three of them. The one, the time transfer on page 24, the operating transfer on 25.
Okay.
And the
three.
transfer the
Yes,
other.
yes.
Okay, so I motion to do the funds transfer of 99,395, 9,086 and 92 cents, and then the other one is 225,000, and the last one being $10,000.
Okay, so a motion from Director Medrano to approve the invoices and the transfers as presented by Infomark. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Director Duda reluctantly makes a second. That said, Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Jones? Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Cobb?
No.
All right, the vote is 4-1, the ayes have it. Item number 8, engineers report and possible action items. A, authorize district engineer to prepare and submit district's final stormwater management program to the TCEQ as required. Mr. Hurd, how are you, sir? Good to see you in this venue.
Yeah, a little distance, I like that.
Yes,
Turn your
sir.
microphone on.
And I just corrected her on that. All right, on this MS4 filing, that's required by the TCEQ, it's also required that comes from your district's engineer. Infomark has put together a vast majority of the information and has forwarded that to us last week. And we need to review and put the final package on that, including cover letters, to get that submittal complete. In order to do that, we're looking at, because I haven't had a chance to review everything that they've provided, don't know exactly how much time is this, I'm just going to throw out a not to exceed of 5,000. I don't see it hitting that, but I don't know what we've got. So, that's that one.
Okay, so you're looking for a motion to, okay.
As a directive to authorize our office to complete that.
Okay, I move that we authorize Gray Engineering to complete is it the MS4?
Yes, ma'am, report.
I would suggest we do MS4 Stormwater Management Program.
Okay, that, the MS4 Stormwater Management Program to complete that report with a not-to-exceed budget of $5,000.
I'll second that.
Okay.
All right, we'll tie goes to Ms. Jones this time. All right, we have a motion and a second. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Are we going to have some discussion?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. Do you want to start, Ms. Fobb?
I will.
Okay.
I'm just wanting to get some clarification. MS4 program, part of Infomark's contract. What's your role? Just filing it with the
The
TCEQ?
TCEQ requires that document to come from an engineer.
I see.
And they're not, that's
They're
our
not an
job.
engineer. I get it.
However, I did a lot of it, so and I sent it to her, so we're hoping that will take a lot of the legwork out of her.
That's what I needed to know about that. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, Ms. Fobb's done. Mr. Madrano, questions or comments?
I do not have any.
Okay. Ms. Frankie?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, Ms. Dudo?
No, thank you.
Ms. Jones?
I'm good.
Good, okay. All right, all that said, Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Cobb?
Yes.
All right, the ayes have it. The vote is unanimous. Item B, Infrastructure Committee report. Up first on that is the Fazone construction proposal for Phase 6 district sidewalk maintenance. I'll have to lean on y'all for some institutional knowledge on this. Who would be the, Heard, you want to take this?
That's mine.
Okay, you got 3 minutes, my friend.
All right, this is the Phase 6 of the sidewalk improvements that the district has taken on. This section we looked at this year to do the remove and replace sections that were known to be necessary. We went out and we solicited a couple proposals on this. We've got 2 proposals, the lowest being Fazone Construction in the amount of $16,605. And so after discussing and reviewing the locations, I think we're just looking for a motion to move forward with this project.
Do you want to do it or should I?
The Infrastructure Committee recommends the board consider approval of Fazone Construction's proposal in the amount of $16,605 for Phase 6 sidewalk maintenance, which is a replacement of that. Okay.
I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Let's start with Ms. Jones.
Yes. I don't have
All
any
right, no
questions.
questions, comments, concerns? Ms.
No
Dudo?
questions.
Ms. Frankie?
Can you tell us about the places that you've chosen to do the remove and replace? Do you have some addresses that you can give us?
We have 18 locations that are requiring this. We've got, and they're all listed within the proposal. If you want a full list, I can run it down. You may run down the...
No, let's put it on the website.
Okay. That's fine. It's 1901 Bird Nest Court, right there at a tree. We've got 3007 Cat Claw Cove.
Okay.
And we've got 2905 Astor Pass. We've got 1317 Piney Creek. And we've got 3402 Larkspur. 1319 Mimosa Pass, 1321 Mimosa Pass, 3303 Sweet Gum, 3310 Sweet Gum, 3310 Sweet Gum, it's on both sides of the driveway location there. And then we've got 1321 Butternut, 1411 Butternut, Texas Oak and Red Bay at the intersection there, Mimosa Pass and El Salido intersection, 1709 Old Mill Road, 1701 Yucca, 2310 Robbie Lane, and then we've got section, it's a 5-foot section at Dagama Park. One item that did come up after, and I'm sitting here redoing this in my head, we had another location that was submitted on Astor Pass after we had sought the proposals. I guess with that, I would request that be included at their unit cost for that location. So
I'm going to ask a question because we have money in the budget to add that additional location.
yes, the original budget that went into this year was $60,000 because we didn't have an idea of what we were looking at for remove and replace. So right now, we're currently way under that budget.
Okay. Okay, so can I go ahead and amend my motion then to deal with that?
You could, yeah, you could do that, and if you've got a second, great.
Okay.
And if you don't, then you don't.
Okay, so then, so give me a not to exceed for that location. You know, give me a swag.
I will say a swag of 18,000
Total.
total,
Oh, for the whole thing, not just for that one
for the
location?
whole thing.
Okay,
For the whole thing.
okay. So I'd like to amend my motion to be 18,000 total, not to exceed 18,000 total.
The guy made the motion, so.
Okay, yeah, you need to do it.
Reverse that, okay. All right, so is that your motion, Mr. Madrano?
Yes, I amend my motion to the amount of $18,000.
Okay, very well.
Basics and sidewalk.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and second it again. So do we have a timeline?
No, I'll wait for approvals before I start
Okay.
talking to them about a contract, or
Okay.
times.
Okay, very well. We'll have that motion on the table. We'll finish going around the room. Mr. Madrano,
I
do you have anything
just want
else?
to clarify, so it is all remove and replace?
Correct, correct.
Yes,
Anything else?
That's all I had, sir.
Okay, very well. All right, Director Fobb.
Is this the same zone contractor that did the Yago Creek wall,
It is.
that did not follow his proposal and took matters in his own hand without board approval to
That
change?
part I don't know.
Okay, so this is the same zone contractor that we hired a structural engineer to look at his work? That's on the agenda further down? How much was the other bid?
The other bid was $17,101.50.
Who was the contractor?
West Star Construction.
They did our sidewalks before, correct?
Both of these companies have.
Okay. So, okay, that's all I needed to know for that. Thank you.
All right, anything else, Director Fobb?
No, that's good.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. There being no other directors. Suzanne, will you call the vote?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fobb?
No.
All right, 4-1, the ayes have it. All right.
And that is it for my report, so if I could just get these signatures on these proposals, and then I will disappear.
Herb, that's the least amount of time I've ever heard you talk.
Before Herb disappears, can I ask him another question regarding his invoicing that he submitted this month?
I think that item has passed. Would you mind taking that up with him at a later date and time, not in the meeting?
The reason that I asked to do it in the meeting is because if I send him an email, he's going to bill us, and if I ask him in the meeting, it's because he's over.
Okay.
You're already here. You're already here.
Okay, I'll just remind the board that we have already covered the bills and invoices and payment of fees, but unless there are 3 people who object, the chair will give Ms. Fobb the floor for 3 minutes. No objection?
Thank you. Herb, I noticed in your billing, and I'm not suggesting not paying you, that you have a nearly $4,000 expense to explore the downed trees on the land being developed off Anderson Mill Road. That's the property behind Linden Lane. It's not in the district boundary. Your invoice indicates that the principal engineer of your firm confirmed that the developer saved the trees that were obligated to be saved according to the design plan. What committee authorized this work and to what end? The amount exceeds the limits of any committee and was not approved by the board.
Well, the request came from two different committees and input from also the residents, what I understand. I didn't talk to any of the residents.
Sure.
But it was getting them information to provide the residents about what was going on next door.
What two committees asked you to do this?
That was the parks and the infrastructure, both.
So Zach, I have a question for you then.
I can't promise I can answer, but go right ahead.
Do your best. Two committees asking the engineer to perform services in excess of the authorized amount that they're allowed to approve. How does that work?
Yeah, so, I will tell you just real briefly, I'm not going to give you a direct answer because I don't have a good answer, quite frankly, because there is no good answer to your question. But I will tell you that I took this position in another district that some of the audience members can speak to. I do have concerns about how subcommittees are working. And that there's going to be, at the next meeting, an agenda item to thoroughly go through this process and exactly what all subcommittees should and should not be doing. And at some point, I'll probably make a recommendation that any expenditures not be approved by subcommittee or delegated by the board to subcommittees. And so that all of that comes in-house, comes before the whole board, and everybody knows where all the cash is going. That's very, very important to me, and I think it's important to y'all as well.
It is.
But that said, I don't have a good answer for you as far as the two committees working in together. I just don't have the institutional knowledge as to how they've traditionally done that.
Wouldn't that be a quorum?
Well, that's what I'm saying, that would come before the board, so.
No, I'm saying if two committees have.
Well, I don't know what they communicated to Herb and when, so, that's why I'm not willing to go down that rabbit hole with you.
Yeah. And there was no conjunction between the committees in this.
Okay, there you go.
I didn't talk to one committee about, I'm telling the other committee this, none of that went on. It's two separate deals, and I believe most of the billing went under the general number as a result of no direct committee, if I remember correctly.
It is exactly correct.
Okay, Ms. Fobb, you got 20 seconds left. If
I'm
you'd like to
good, thank
continue,
you.
you're good? Okay. All righty. Number 9, General Manager's Report, possible action items, update on field operations. We'll start with that one, 9A. Ms. Scales, I believe you're up. You have 3 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you. I don't have too much to update you on. One thing I do want to point out on page 11 of the report we handed out with the chief on the front is under infrastructure item C, we have officially changed out roughly, I think, 618 meters within the district to AMIs. We have a pretty small inventory left. I'm going to keep a good chunk of that left in inventory. We'll let the Houston crew come out. We just received some additional start after yesterday at the Summit office. They'll change out a good handful, but we don't want to change out all of them until we have your next handful come in, because then we would be doing top meters to change out for any sort of stop meter problems, things like that. That's just an update on where we are as far as your meter change out goes. We're still within budget of the $25,000 that you have for the meter change out crew to do those, so no issues there. We do have the order placed for your new endpoints and your new set of meters. It's all set up at 36 total. We were told that there's a 6-month lead time. So, like we had initially thought. Outside of that, I don't have anything as far as operations goes, but you will have on the 1 to B. Item B.
I think that'd be appropriate.
So this is something that
I'll give you a new 3 minutes.
That's fine.
Okay.
I shouldn't need it, but thank you. Payment to, recommending payment to Fazone for the repair that they placed on the wall. I did speak with Zach about this, and he did kind of come to the conclusion that the recommendation of payment should be there as Fazone did do the work. And then we also have an agenda item to review the engineering report that, I'm going to butcher the name. Is it TSEN is how you say it, or is it SEN? Okay, I'm sorry, I've never had to speak it. SEN's report that they submitted on the wall. Both of those are included in my packet. I don't know if you want to go with the board approving payment first or reviewing the report first.
They seem pretty inextricably linked, and I believe this is your agenda item, Ms. Fobb, on the SEN engineering report. Am I wrong about that?
Not exactly, but I did instigate that structural engineering.
Are you comfortable laying out that discussion then?
I am.
Okay.
I am
You have 3
comfortable
minutes.
with 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
The structural engineer that we hired to take a look at the wall, only using photos, documentation that was gathered, came back in a nutshell, the wall is structurally deficient. It was not built according to the construction standards and codes. And his recommendation is that it be rebuilt to code. The footer is not long enough to hold the weight of the wall, and because it does sit right next to a walking trail, that's concerning. He submitted this report in a draft format so that if the attorney for the district needed any specific language in order to be able to convince Fazone to do the work properly as they described in their proposal, then he would be willing to make sure that you had the language you needed to make that happen. He is not willing to change his assessment, of course, because he's a professional and this was his finding. So my recommendation is that we do not pay the contractor, because if we do, we accept that wall the way it is, and it is clearly not built to standard, and Fazone did not build it in accordance with their proposal. So I would defer to Zach. How do we make the contractor do the right thing for the district?
Yeah, so I'll tell you all what I told Mackenzie. As far as I'm concerned, and based on what I've seen, Fazone didn't work. I'm clearly not a wall expert, nor will I ever pretend to be. But I did also read the engineer's report, and my big takeaway out of this is this. I believe he used the word, so while some of the methods of construction used for the rebuild of the wall may be brought into question, the larger issue is that the design of the original screen is not structurally adequate. So what that tells me is that despite the quality of the work that Fazone did, they did do work, and being brought into question is a very loosey-goosey finding, especially for a lawyer who has to go into a courtroom and defend not paying a contractor after they performed work. So my recommendation is that the board approve payment to Fazone, and if it does turn out that there is a structural problem or defect with the work, that will come out, and it will come out probably sooner rather than later in my experience. So rather than Fazone, let me rephrase that, rather than the district having violated the Prompt Payment Act, my, again, recommendation is that the board approve that payment, and should subsequent studies or analyses prove that their work is actually deficient, then there will be a cause of action in the district's favor against that contractor. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that would be the lay of the land.
Did you hear me say that he did not abide by the proposal he submitted for the work?
Yes, and did you hear me read the sentence to you and the explanation I gave to you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's my explanation. That's 3 minutes. Okay, anybody else? Mr. Madrano.
Art, do you have any, you have 3 minutes.
Well, we do owe him for the work, but I want to know, and I've said this before, that any prior work, and now I'm questioning the work he did, he's going to put the title, but any work he does in the future for us, he has to apply by the contract, or we'll disqualify him. We should look at a committee to disqualify him, because he did take it on his own to do that without instructing any of us to do that. And secondly, that we manage that work through Infomark and make sure that he is complying with a proposal on the contract. So that being said, yeah, I mean, he did the work, we owe him for the work.
Yeah. I do actually have a question for the board, but I'm going to come back to it. Ms. Frankie?
Okay. The only comment that I wanted to make is, after reading the engineer's report, my interpretation of what he was trying to tell us was he was disagreeing with the original design of the wall. And that wall is going on 20 years old at this point. So I'm wondering if we had a little bit of apples and oranges, where he was making a comment about the design that was in place 20 years ago versus and in conjunction with the repair that he was seeing. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
In tangent with that, can I say something else?
Can I come back to you, Mr. Madrano?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do it. Nothing? Ms. Jones? Okay, that was quick. Right back to you.
Okay, well, I don't see in the report either that he performed any kind of sump test, any kind of density test, that it was all visual. And I understand where you're coming. Where does it say that?
It's in the report.
I read the report. It has nothing where he made any diggings, took any samples, nothing like that. That's what I'm
he actually used compression testing in the report.
Well, that's outside, but not nothing that was, how shall I say, structural. And I know they looked at the pictures, they looked at the footing, but he still didn't collectively say the wall's gonna fail, you know? He said there's a chance it's structural. Now, I agree with you on the proposal side, that he should have contacted us and said, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna replace, offset it with doing something else, because he can't take that latitude to do that. He has to clear it with us.
My understanding, and I could be mistaken, my understanding is that
Your 3 minutes are up, so I'm going to come back to you, okay? Okay, because I want to ask a couple of questions, and then I think might have a point of clarification, hopefully that will help everybody. So my first question is, why wasn't Gray Engineering tasked with doing the study of Fazone's work?
They don't do structural engineering.
Okay, so they just said, we're not even going to put eyes on it, we're not willing to do that work?
Essentially.
Okay,
They said
okay.
they didn't have the qualifications to do so.
Okay, and so, again, point of clarification I'll give myself 3 minutes as well, so, for my information, they went beyond the scope of what y'all initially contracted them to do, am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah.
And we can point objectively to work where they went above and beyond the scope that they were hired for?
no, they did less than scope that they.
Okay, that's valid too.
That's not correct.
Okay.
They were going to replace the footer,
Okay,
and they decided not to do that.
okay.
But they replaced an additional 30-foot of wall.
Yeah, but that's-
Because of that.
But what was failing was the footer causing the wall to roll. And so instead of replacing the footer as they proposed, they decided to apply an engineering solution without the aid of an engineer. And they used what's called pier reinforcing. We have pictures of that. And that photo shows the depth of the footing, and that's too small. And to your point, you're absolutely right. 20 years ago, the design standards and codes were different. And just like if you replace your water heater, if you touch it, you have to bring it up to code. And that's what happened on this wall. So he touched it, and now it doesn't conform to the code.
Yeah, so I'm not hearing anything in here that makes me comfortable advising the board to not make that payment, because again, if they exceeded the scope, if they did deficient work, we can address that stuff later, but I don't want the district being in violation of the Prompt Payment Act, which we already are, quite frankly. So my advice is to issue payment on that one. However, if this board has a concern with the work that Fazone is performing, now's the time to address that, you know, and maybe we need to hit the pause button with them, go back and revisit their scope of work, and what that's gonna look like, because obviously somebody has to be there on the ground watching them do the work to ensure that it's being performed exactly to the standards, the scope of services that y'all signed on for. So if we're talking about giving them additional work, the board's concerned about it being performed right, you know, I think now's the time and place to address that. And if we put the brakes on that, we'll revisit with Fazone if you want. But if you feel like it's time for them to truck on forward, to get the work done because it needs to be done, then do it. So right now, the motion on the table for right now would be with respect to payment of Fazone for the repairs along Hatch and Yegwa Creek.
Who made the motion?
There's not a motion yet.
Oh.
That would be the motion if there
Can I ask
is
a
one.
question? If we've not written that check yet, and are we waiting for the next board meeting to write that check? Oh, we do have it, okay, never mind.
It's check 5368 dated 10/5, check date is 10/20/21. And so it was part of the October 20th payment register, but it was not approved by the board because of these questions. So I have the original check here. We can sign this one if that's what you hope to do, or you can direct us to make payment, in this case, perhaps out of the manager's account that we could send out tomorrow.
Okay, I move that we pay Fazone Construction $9,500 for the completion and repair of the CMU wall at Hatch and Yagua. Can I have a second? You have a second,
Ms.
Greta?
Jones seconds. Right, we have a motion and a second. Suzanne, we call the roll.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director McDonough?
Yes.
Director Pop?
Absolutely not.
All right, item 9D, proposals to repair damage at Vestavia Ridge Lane detention pond fence.
So, I hope it made it into my packet. Herb and I had some overlap. Who was supposed to include these. At Vestavia Ridge Pond, someone actually ran through the chain link fence there quite a while back. Initially, I proceeded to try to get this taken care of under insurance. But that section of fence is not covered under insurance, and it's due to the majority of the district portion of this fence is all chain link. And so things like that are not typically covered under insurance, and when it was built, they were not willing to accept it. So we do have two proposals. I don't see them in here unfortunately, but I do have amounts for you. I think Herb was actually supposed to include them. He has them on his report if you have them. Both amounts are listed. I think we had some confusion on who was going to include these. One of them is for fencing, and that is the concrete portion of the fence that needs to be replaced. And then the other one is Viking fence proposal. It's $59.17 for that one. That is because it's, I believe, roughly a couple hundred foot of fencing that needs to be repaired. And it is a pretty tall fence, and there's also 2 gates involved that have to be replaced as well. So this is to, we would recommend that the board approve this, for the repairs to be made.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Part of the concrete fence there is actually backing up to a residence. So one of Herb's recommendations was going to be that we ask the board to approve these amounts to have the repairs done, but we also solicit from the resident to pay a portion of the concrete portion as that is attached to their property. It was put up by the district, but is, all intents and purposes, to be maintained by them. But his suggestion was not to make your votes on these 2 amounts contingent on them approving it.
So the fence creek is the
The
actual,
concrete portion of it,
and what's the wall, the precast wall? What is that?
that is the fencing. It's concrete made to look like wood.
Okay. And the Viking proposal is what?
The Viking proposal is for all of the chain link as well as the gates, which is the long portion.
And that we do.
That is yours. That is strictly the district's.
Okay.
Who did it? Somebody ran into it?
We don't know. It was, we came in one day or someone saw it driving by and it was just demolished.
A car hit it.
Yeah, it definitely a car hit it.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Scales, on that? Okay, directors, we'll start with Ms. Jones.
I do not have any questions.
Ms. Dudo. Ms. Frankie?
Nope.
Mr. Bedrone, any other comments, questions, concerns?
Do I have questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as far as the Viking proposal goes, I'm okay with the 5917, but as far as the fence creek, I just don't want to start something that we can't, that will perpetuate, because I have a fence creek, I live in that area, and I have a fence creek, and it falls down, it's in my yard, I should pay for it, you know? So I don't know how we can approach it. I think we should approach them first and say, look, sorry, guy hit your yard, but this is your fence, it's not a community fence.
Okay.
So I think we should do that
One
first.
thing we can do is we can take the proposal to the resident, let them know we've already gotten it if they're willing to.
Right.
I think Herb's
I
suggestion
mean,
was.
they probably have
at least
insurance, they could
50%.
probably pay for this with the insurance, you know?
We thought we did too, though.
Okay, well, can we at least visit that before we do it? I know it's only $1,800, but still.
If that's what the board wants,
We'll
absolutely.
set the precedent, that's all I'm saying, because if we do that, then everybody that, where their wall knocks down, they're gonna want pretty much to replace their fence, so. That's my suggestion.
All right, Director Fobb?
Yeah, I agree with him.
Okay, all right, so Infomark's gonna take that back to the property
We will
owner.
request approval of at least the Viking proportion of that, because that is strictly district owned, and then we will take the fence free portion back and solicit some,
You want to make that motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to accept paragraph CC, Viking proposal for 5917, to replace the chain link fence.
I'll go ahead and second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Pop?
Yes.
All right, 5-0, the ayes have it. Thank you, directors. Item number 10, committee reports and possible action items. Parks Committee, AI, update on park planning process and the results of the district's second community survey. Who has the honor of laying this one out? Ms. Jones?
Actually, Megan, you had it with you, right?
Yes, I do.
Good
All
stuff.
right. My Director Ditto will present.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So regarding the park planning process, we just wanted to update the board real quick on where we are because we're reaching the end of the process at this point. So we have the results of the second survey. We're in the process of preparing a report that's similar to the one we prepared for the results of the first survey, which we will be making available to the public as soon as it's available. We are at the stage now where Virginity is going to start working on the draft plan with the advisory committee. The advisory committee has a meeting at the end of March and then another one scheduled for late April, early May, where we're kind of looking at drafts of the plan. And then from that point on, we're going to be revising the plan, getting it to a point where we want to put it out for public comment. The plan will be out for public comment for about a month before it gets brought to the board for final adoption, and we're aiming to have that at our June meeting. So that's all I have on that one for now.
Yeah, okay, thanks. All right, anything else, Ms. Ditto?
That's all on that one.
Okay. Any other questions, comments from the board?
I have a question on that one.
All right, you have 3 minutes, go ahead.
I won't take that long. Section 49.465 of the Water Code and standards, the board shall establish standards for recreational facilities. In other words, it's basically telling us that there needs to be an assessment of other facilities in the area to make sure that we're wisely spending the taxpayers' dollars. I'm wondering when that process will take place. In the whole process of this plan, when is that assessment going to be done?
Said 065, Ms. Fobb?
49.465.
465, pull that up.
It's to prevent duplication of recreational facilities provided by other governmental entities. Rules adopted by the board under this section must require a district before developing facilities to make findings that the size and location of the facilities have been, are you reading it?
No, it's ringing a bell, I'll just be getting to it, yeah.
Have been established
Yep.
in consideration of municipal or county recreational facilities, whether existing or proposed, that serve or will serve the area in which the district is located.
Yeah, don't quote me on this just yet, but I think that might be a bond-specific issue. Give me 2 seconds here and I'll tell you, okay?
Is my clock ticking?
Our collective clock is ticking right now, how's that? Yeah, you know, if y'all haven't been through that exercise, you certainly should.
Is that?
You know, how y'all want to tackle that is a totally different question. Also, you know, standards for recreational facilities to be developed and maintained, you know, it's kind of a loosey-goosey word.
Well, they have some time. They're not ready until June.
Sure.
So, I mean, maybe you could guide the Parks Committee on how that's supposed to be done.
Well, no, there's no guidance for me to give,
Oh.
you know, that's not really, I'm not a policymaker, you know. But that said, you know, the parks, it would be appropriate, in my opinion, for the Parks Committee to tackle that. But what it looks like is up to y'all, you know. There's nothing that says it has to be some grand document, you know, but if, you know, speaking of duplication of services, things like that, you know, if you had a swimming pool and y'all want to build another swimming pool right next to it, that might be a little concerning, things of that nature. But, you know, if your assessment is we've got facilities here, there, and there, and we're happy with them, that to me satisfies that statute. So I would just leave it to y'all to decide how you want to tackle that. I'll do my best to give input if there's questions, but it's really just a policy issue more than it is a legal issue.
Okay, so can I ask some follow-up questions on that?
Sure.
Okay, so the first one is, how often is a district supposed to do that? Every year, every time?
Doesn't specify, it
Build
just says that they
something?
shall. Yeah.
Wasn't there something around that that said if you're going to create new or?
The district has added new facilities, or new something or other every year for the last 38 years. So when was the last time that was done?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like y'all have never done it.
Yeah.
So this would be an excellent opportunity to do it.
So I guess the follow-up question is, what counts as a duplicate? So, just because there are playgrounds at Elizabeth Milburn Park, does that mean we shouldn't have playgrounds?
Right, well, and there's nothing that says no, but it does tell you to look at what's being provided by other governmental entities.
So if we put an inventory in the plan.
I think an inventory is a good idea, location of what's there and whatnot. And again, it's going to be the board's determination as to whether or not it's appropriate, if it needs to be amended, if y'all need to change things up, So, I mean, this doesn't have to be any grand theme, for lack of a better word. It could just be a one-page document saying we've examined everything and here we go.
Don't we sort of have like an inventory?
Of our own, but this is saying for adjacent municipalities.
Isn't it some kind of
adjacent.
Like a distance? I mean, you don't have to do the whole city, but like you have to do a distance away from where you intend to make modifications.
I don't think the statute speaks to that unless you're seeing something I'm not.
And I think there was somewhere buried in that whole chapter, but.
Regardless, it sounds to me like maybe the Parks Committee has a small homework assignment.
Sure.
Okay, very well. All right. Any other questions or comments on that item, Ms. Fogg? I don't know if I really gave you 3 minutes or not.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Madrano?
No, thank you.
Ms. Frankie?
I'm good.
Ms. Dudo, you just presented.
Yep.
Ms. Jones? Anything else? Okay, moving right along. Did you want to go down each of these items, 1, 2, 3, and 4, or do you have any briefing on
The
those?
next two I added.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Then, Ms. Scales, the floor is yours.
If you go to page 17 and 18 of your engine mark packet here, you'll see 2 quotes from T.F. Harper. The first one there is to replace a swing and chains. One has somehow gone missing from Andersonville West Park. And then the next quote over is to actually adjust the height of all swings because they have sagged over time and they're very low to the ground. So the Parks Committee would like to recommend approving both of these invoices proposals to T.F. Harper. The first one in the amount of $227.22 and the second in the amount of $472 for swing maintenance.
Anything else, Ms. Scales?
No, sir.
All right. Director Fobb, questions, comments, concerns?
No questions.
Okay, Mr. Madrano?
Done.
Ms. Frankie?
Where are we with the duck? Or that,
Snail.
okay, with this deal.
I think we were gonna wait and see what some of the plans were within the park plan before we waited because of the price of that being as expensive as it was.
Okay. That's it.
Okay. Anything to add, Ms. Tudo, Ms. Jones? No? Okay. I think the action before the board then would be in response to Ms. Scales' proposal. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the 2 proposals from T.F. Harper to replace the swing and fix the chains for the amounts of $227.22 and $472.
And I will second that.
All right, Ms. Jones seconds. We have a motion and a second. Ms. McCullough, will you call the roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fobb?
Yes.
All right. Votes unanimous, the ayes have it. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Item number 3, sorry. I'm not
Yep,
gonna say
no, go right ahead.
If you go to page 19 of the report, you have your Lone Star paving estimate there. This is for the work we've installed the tap, we being Infomark has installed the tap there at London Lane Pond, for us to have a water tap there and in the future a water fountain. They need to drill into the road to make the repair, to make the connection of that water tap into your water system. So this is what this quote is for. Initially, when this quote came through, it was well over $8,000, and I was able to finagle down to $3,700, and that's about as low as they're willing to go. And we did receive another quote from another vendor, and his was around $5,900. So Lone Star is the lowest we have received on that.
That's all you got? Okay.
This is for the dog,
Yeah.
It's to install the water tap there, so the line is in the ground and everything, it's the connection to your system that needs to be
does that have
made.
to cut up the street?
Yeah, they have to cut up the street because they can't bore through the sand.
Okay. And this was the issue that it's not consistent, we don't consistently fill up the water?
It's the big water jug that we have to take off-site and then fill up and have the tech bring back down. The goal is for the Parks Committee to eventually pursue getting a double-decker water fountain, one for humans and one for dogs, to where it's a foot pedal.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did your recommendation have
My recommendation is to approve the quote from Lone Star Paving in the amount of $3,700 to finish the London Lane Pond Water Tap installation.
All right, is there a motion on Ms. Scales' recommendation?
Want me to do that?
Yep.
Ms. Jones makes a motion, Ms. Dudo, second?
Yep.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Suzanne, would you call the roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fox?
Yes.
All right, and 10-4, application to apply for grant to support the Madeline Loop Trail Connection. Take any action necessary.
So this is something that the Parks Committee pursued a few years back. We did not get selected for the projects we submitted for, so the Parks Committee is now regrouped. And we are discussing what we could apply for here. We thought that the Madeline Loop sidewalk connection from Sun Chase would be a great option here. Because the emphasis for the AARP grant community, the community grant that you can get is really highly focused on people 50 and above and making your community more livable and accessible to people of that age group. So we felt like this would be a great project to run with, and we would like for the to consider approving the Parks Committee to finish the grant application. We have it well underway to apply for the money to do this project. This project is a budgeted item in your budget right now, but our goal is to see if we can receive grant money in place of some of the money that would come out of the district pocket.
All right, anything else, Ms. Scales?
That is it.
All right, I'm gonna start in the middle this time. Director Frankie, you have any questions or concerns?
No, I hope we win. I hope we get some money.
Mr. Madrano?
None.
Director Fobb?
Nothing.
Director Dudo? Director Jones? All right, I believe Ms. Scales is looking for a motion to allow her to proceed with that grant application.
Apply for the grant.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
I'll do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, was that Ms. Jones? Okay.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Jones makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll do that.
All right, Ms. Frankie makes the second. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fox?
Yes.
All right, everybody is on board for hopefully free money. I like that. 10B, Information Management Committee. I have to defer to the board here. No,
That is,
nothing to report on
Megan
that?
and Beth, and we don't
Okay.
have anything to
Just a
report.
placeholder? Okay, very well, no action on that one. 10C, Security Committee, report on possible change to security providers, take any action necessary. Security Committee.
Security
Sorry,
Committee.
remind me who the makeup is. Forgive me.
That's Linda and I, and it was just there because we still want to, expand the scope of what we have available to us. That's the only reason it's on the agenda.
Okay, I did have conversation with Wilco Sheriffs, and I have a point of contact for you on that.
Okay.
How y'all want to reach out to them is totally up to
You can hand
you.
it to me. I can take
Okay,
care of that.
yeah, actually, let me
Okay.
do it right now before I forget, quite frankly. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so just for everyone's edification, the plan of action will be, and for Mark, we'll reach out to them, come back to the board next month with any kind of proposals or
I'll work
anything.
with the security committee on what I find as well beforehand.
What are we looking for?
We're looking, what I'm hoping for is that we're going to be able to come up with more bodies, so that we can.
Sheriff in the.
Yes, yeah.
And can I look at that card? Is this Gleason?
No, that's
I'll take a picture of it.
Deputy
yeah, I see.
New, I believe is his
Yeah,
name.
William New. Okay, yeah, I think that's a great idea.
All right, moving right along, 11A, under new business. Consider and take appropriate action regarding placing deed restriction violation fines on district water bills.
Okay, so right now, what the DRC committee is in the process of reevaluating the entire process. And so we are making the recommendation that we not do any fining for the next month, basically, while we finish the review process. And then we will, and any fines that are out there, we're recommending be put in abeyance. And then we will take this up in much greater detail in April.
Okay.
And we will have presented, we'll have something that will be presented to the board.
Okay, that's exactly what my question is. Who does the action item belong to?
Well, that's Beth and I, yeah.
Okay. Depending on where that conversation goes, obviously I'd like to be involved before we get back to the meeting, so I know exactly what revisions we're looking for. I might have some input, especially with respect to the placing.
Right, now, so are you going to recommend that we make a motion for what I was just talking about, about the abeyance and?
Yeah, I think that's very much well-timed, well-placed. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I make a motion.
And I'm sorry if you'll just, Suzanne's got to take all this down, so.
I got it already.
Okay, okay, just making sure. I'm
Okay.
looking out for my right hand over there.
Okay, so I make a motion that while the DRC committee is reorganizing the DRC process, that all fines be put in abeyance and that we not issue any fines for the foreseeable future. That's not that good.
I'll second that.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
we've got a motion from Director Frankie and a second from Director Jones. Let's do the round robin. Director Fobb.
Yes, no question.
No questions, okay?
Sorry, I did the vote. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm ahead of myself.
You're good. Director Medrano, any questions, comments? Okay, Ms. Frankie just laid it out, but do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Ms. Dudo? Ms. Jones, still good? Okay, with that said, we have a motion and a second. Suzanne, will you please call the roll?
Director Cobb?
Yes.
Director Medrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Jones? Yes.
Okay. On the next several items, I'm going to ask Suzanne to carry the ball. We are on 11B, order designating investment officer and reestablishing rules and policies for the investment of the district funds and review of investments. And page 14 of your packets.
Right. So we've just drafted an investment policy that literally tracks the Public Funds Investment Act. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. As it's drafted now, we have Major Investment Officer Infomark as your general manager, because they've completed the training. My understanding, though, is that you have Beth and Kat and Linda. Y'all want to be investment officers as well, or you currently are?
We currently are.
Okay, I can add you to the investment policy, so there would be 3 of you, but you have 1 year from today to take that training. And I just, a note, they are offering that at AWBD this summer.
Is there an online class?
There are online classes. I'd have to research what they are. The problem with the online classes is they're not specific. You have to take less training than the full one. So if you take the online, it's probably going to have to be the full one. So, but if you wanted to go to the AWBD, I don't know if y'all attend that. They do offer it, but I can send you what I know for online classes.
That'd be helpful.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Did we do this last month? Didn't we already do this last month?
Y'all may some of this, let me preface this. There's some of the stuff y'all may already have on your books, but quite frankly, it is much easier for your legal counsel to be able to go back and look at the documents we've drafted, because we know exactly where they're at, we know exactly what they say. And so for us to sit down and take our draft and then take what y'all have already passed and go, okay, did they do this? Did they do this? Did they do that? No. And so we have to prove up 2 different documents. So there's not necessarily anything wrong with what y'all had, but we know ours are right.
The other thing is you may have, you're required to review this annually.
And I think
So-
we just did last month, but.
You may have reviewed it, you're re-adopting it, a whole new policy. So next year I'll bring it to you in January to review.
So is this basically telling the world that we approve of the investment strategy and we're sticking with it? Because I think that's what we did last month.
Yeah, no, that's what you did, so that's your annual review, what you're required to do annually. You're just adopting your policy, so you're good on both counts. And we'll bring this back to you in a year.
Okay. Director Fobb, any other questions?
I thought it just looked familiar, that's all.
You were, right you were. All right. Director Madrano, questions, comments? Okay. Director Frankie?
Nope.
Director Dudo?
No.
Director Jones?
No.
All right, do I have a motion on the table to adopt the order as presented?
I'll do that motion to adopt the order as presented.
All right, Director Fobb makes the first motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Director Madrano makes the second. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Fobb?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
All right, the ayes have it. Item 11C, this is, I believe, page 35 of your board packet. Let me make sure.
It is.
Yes, 35, resolution establishing an identity theft prevention program. Suzanne, do you want to go ahead and lay this out? And we discussed some of the findings you came up with about our gray area that we're operating in on this as far as the federal law is concerned.
Right, so this was a law that was passed in 2003, and it required anybody that met certain definitions to adopt identity theft prevention program, which you may have adopted one back during that time because it was a requirement. But apparently in 2010, they had some clarifications that, because I have seen the memo, I asked your previous attorney for your policy, and he provided, she provided a memo, Allison provided me with a memo that kind of went into some changes that they made that make it kind of gray whether or not the district actually is required to do that. So we're recommending that you adopt this just to really, what it does is it requires Infomark to take certain steps and follow certain procedures to ensure that no identity theft occurs in any of their processes. So it doesn't hurt the district in any way. It's just basically an extra protection.
Yeah, we see this as a best practice. All the districts we represent, they've adopted a form of this very substantially, almost probably exactly compared to what you've got in front of you.
That we already manage some of those as well, so we're familiar with practices.
Yeah.
And it's required by law that we have it?
Well, that's the thing. It is definitely a bit of a gray area. I can't point to the federal law that adopted this program and say you have to do it because there's some the law equivocates as to whether or not we're considered a debtor as a local governmental entity. That's the big hang-up. But the best practice, in my opinion, would be to have this in place. And offhand chance the comptroller or the feds come and knocking, we can say, hey, we've done everything we can to build in safeguards. Our general manager's been advised to do it. So again, it's just a best practice.
Doesn't hurt anybody, does it?
No, ma'am, it does not.
Doesn't involve...
fraudsters, it might.
Well, and that's okay. It doesn't involve any reporting to credit bureaus.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
All that'll happen is it'll just be an annual item, and we'll come back. We'll ask Infomark if they had any red flags, which basically is any kind of fraudulent activity, whether it be a hot check, whether it be somebody attempting to access accounts, steal social security numbers, account info, things like that. I've yet to have them come back and say yes, but it could happen. But it would just be an annual review type deal. Any other questions from the
Yeah,
board?
I'm trying to understand, is this all about online payments or paying with credit cards?
It's just protecting the data of the customers within the district. So it's the entire billing system in a nutshell. Anything that goes in, anything that comes out, whether they pay by phone, drop cash here, everything, how that flows through, that whole process.
Okay.
Okay. Any other directors have questions? All right. No other questions, then I will entertain a motion to adopt the resolution.
I will make a motion to adopt the resolution, Identity Theft Prevention Program.
All right, Director Fogg makes the first motion. Is there a second?
I'll I'll second that.
All right, Director Frankie makes the second, and Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fob?
Yes.
The ayes have it, it is unanimous. 11D, resolution updating meeting place locations and administrative offices. This is at page 45 of your packet.
Yes, and all this is we are updating your meeting place locations to include our offices as an administrative office and also as a future meeting place. I prepared it with your previously listed meeting places, so if those are incorrect, and I can look at those, go over those if you don't have the order in front of you. Pull that real quick.
I think we've got, I'll jump in, Suzanne. So 1,000 Old Mill Road.
Yes.
And then we've got Cypress Elementary School located at 2900 El Solido.
Yeah.
Anderson Mill West Park located, West Park located at the intersection of DeGamma and El Solido. And the Live Unitarian Universalist Church located at 3315 El Solido.
Okay.
All sound
And also included in
You do have
here.
an out-of-district meeting, I'm sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we also designate where your posting locations will be, so I do have it on your website, but I do need where you're posting in the district. That's something I don't have. I need a location.
It's here in Anderson Mill, so do both addresses.
Okay, thanks.
Posting.
We post in the box.
Oh, posting the agendas. Okay.
Yeah, I like to put it in
Okay.
so if somebody asks for it, they know
Yeah.
where to go within the district to find the agendas.
Okay. I realize I've stopped doing the round robin, so we'll just go questions, comments, concerns from anybody. All right, I will entertain a motion to adopt the order, or excuse me, the resolution.
Okay, I move that we adopt the resolution updating the meeting places and administrative offices.
All right, Ms. Frankie makes the first motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Madrano makes the second. Suzanne, will you call roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fob?
Yes.
All right, the ayes have it, it is unanimous. 11E, order adopting records management plan and appointing records management officer, excuse me.
This is in your board packet on page 47. It is a requirement every time you change anything with your records that you notify the Texas State Library and Archives Commission that you're making that change. We have put us down McGinnis as the records management officer, and we'll take care of all of your records and organizing them. We'll adopt the recommended schedules that they put out. So,
Questions from the board?
As it relates to records management, my question is, where are we in terms of getting records from the previous general counsel?
We're making progress, lots and lots of progress.
Okay.
They have,
we have them all.
Yeah, they have physically moved everything over to our offices, including some of the older records, but as well as the more current ones that they've been, I think, using on more of a day-to-day basis. We've also had a very large electronic file transfer, which
Okay.
Suzanne has dutifully started organizing.
Allison has been really, really great to work with.
Yeah.
Every single document I've asked her for, she's been amazingly responsive and very helpful.
Yeah, we've had a really good exchange with Mr. Flickinger's firm, and everything seems to be on target.
Okay, so you're getting emails and all of that sort of stuff then also?
From
Well, his emails, to us.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to answer that because I don't know what he's getting and perhaps not
Okay.
forwarding. But he does have a duty, as would his paralegal, to make sure that got to us
Okay.
if he's receiving stuff. So.
Okay. And so how are we doing with previous open records requests, the organization of that?
Yeah, I think we're doing really good. Suzanne is an absolute guru when it comes to keeping us organized on that. I'm in the process of having to review a handful of records that are in our existing PIR because they could implicate confidential information. So that's one that anytime where there's a records request that has the task involved of identifying confidential information, whether it be attorney-client communications, social security numbers, anything that might be protected by common law, I'll be doing those reviews, and so people wait a little bit longer accordingly, which I do my best. But Suzanne's got everything cataloged, keeping us organized. What else on that, Suzanne? I know I'm always missing something.
You have 5 right now outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will deal with those expediently as humanly possible and within the Public Information Act requirements.
Is that on the agenda?
No, ma'am, I think.
I mean, it goes into records management pretty well.
Yeah, I was kind of entertaining it under
Yeah.
that umbrella.
Because
yes,
I do
ma'am.
have a question. And
Yes, ma'am.
if we can do it under this agenda item, I'd like to ask.
Yeah, I think so. Unless we get just too far out in the periphery,
I'll try not to.
I'm good.
Because I have noticed in the one that I satisfied for Suzanne last week, I believe it was, I noticed that and even in the policy, it says that we'll give them 36 hours a year, 15 hours maximum in a month before we start charging.
It's kind of it's like a misleading.
I'll speak to that, yeah. And I think you may have reached out to me about that, and I know the requester in question brought it up too. There seems to be a misunderstanding as to what that means. Those 36 hours and 15 hours respectively, 15 in a month, 36 in a year, all that means is that they will still be getting charged and still be getting cost assessments as any other person would. But what we're not doing until we hit those thresholds is charging the personnel time. And that's the whole point of having that vexatious requester resolution on the books, is so that once your consultant, staff, whomever, you have spent 15 hours in a month or 36 hours in a year responding to one particular requester, at that point, when you hit that threshold, you can begin charging not just the labor, production, copying fees that are allowed for any open records request, but you also get to start assessing that personnel time.
So what does $15 an hour then, whose rate is that?
That's the Attorney General rate. I mean, they are required to specify the cost. It's actually in the Public Information Act, and you can go on their website. So I actually use their fee generator, and I just put the minutes in as they're provided to me. So like for your request, you told me how much time it took you. I put those minutes in, they generate it, and it has to meet a threshold of like 4 or 5 things before we can actually send a cost estimate over. You know, if it takes 2 minutes, then I just mark that it took 2 minutes and I send it to them with a little thing that says it took 2 minutes. So I have to keep track till I reach a certain amount, because under a certain amount, we can't charge at all. We can just keep adding up. But once you reach a threshold, which yours did, we were able to charge.
So are you also keeping track of the hours per requester?
I absolutely am.
You are, okay.
Yeah, we're required to do that.
And are we required to provide that statement of hours to the requester?
I do.
Yes.
You do?
It's at the bottom of their, when I send them the cost estimate or I send them the responsive documents, it's at the bottom.
And your previous counsel was doing that, just for the
Yeah, he
record.
was.
I did see a copy of something that he had issued. So.
But we didn't charge until they exceeded.
Yeah, I don't know where or how that started,
So
but that's not
different.
what your resolution says.
Yeah, well, that's how they did it, so.
That may have been how they understood it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, but let me just ask, because you took some of my minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
But if they view the records, if they come and view the records, then there's no charge, right?
That's not necessarily, I'm sorry, Suzanne, go
That's
ahead.
okay, no, that's okay. It would be less of a charge, but not, so if I had to assemble them all together, the cost of me assembling them or pulling them, so for example, if I had to ask Infomark for specific documents and they had to go to their warehouse and pull all those documents, that charge would be the same whether they viewed them here at your offices here, or whether they viewed them at our offices, or whether I sent it to them.
Yeah. And while that's the vast majority of an expense, and on a request of that nature, we will also charge for anything we have to make a physical copy of in order to redact. That's increasingly rare, I think, just because technology has improved. But we do get documents that are, hard to read or whatever, formatting's funky on them, for whatever reason, we got to print it out, do a physical redaction, so we're charging, 10 cents a copy on something like that. So it's not necessarily free just because you come view them in person, but odds are much higher that it's going to be much more affordable.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask a question?
You absolutely can, and you can ask away for 3 minutes.
Okay, so, just so I understand, so now we're supposed to be keeping track of time if we're fulfilling an open records request? Okay, 'cause
Yeah.
we've never.
Yeah, I would encourage you to do that because we need that information to add to our tally.
Okay.
this is so we're on E, but I think you're going to be covering that under number
Yep.
F, because you're going to be adopting the policy.
Any other questions, comments on the order adopting records management plan? All right, I'll entertain a motion on that.
Okay, I move that we adopt the records management plan as presented.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
All right, Director Frankie makes the first motion, Director Fobb makes the second. Suzanne, would
Director
you mind
Fobb?
calling the roll?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
All right, the ayes have it, the vote is unanimous. 11F, resolution adopting policy establishing reasonable rules of procedure for the inspection and copying of public information. You do have a copy of this, directors, in your packet at page 50. While this may look like a very substantive shift or expansion of your previous policies, it really is not. This falls into the category, as with the previous one on the identity theft and the investment policy, falls in the category of us wanting you to adopt the standard resolutions that we have with our other districts. And there's nothing that was wrong with your previous resolution, but in my opinion, it just could have been a little bit more comprehensive. And so a lot of what you see here is already covered by law. It's already in the Public Information Act, so you don't absolutely have to have it in here. It's a little redundant in that regard, but I think it's important to have all this in one place as one-stop shopping for folks who come and do submit open records requests, so they know virtually every rule as far as that they're going to be governed by whenever they're submitting their request. Obviously, if anybody wants to dig further, the Public Information Act Handbook is a very great resource for anyone. I encourage you to crack that sucker open if you have insomnia. But to Ms. Fobb's point and question earlier about charging, I will say, I'm so sorry, y'all. I clearly do not run the clock very well. To Ms. Fobb's question earlier, I did put a clarifying point on there, and this comes directly, again, out of the Attorney General's Public Information Handbook. If you flip to page 58 or 9 of 10 of that resolution and go down to section 15B, as in Bravo, you'll see where we put a note there that says nothing in this resolution precludes the district from assessing cost to a requester outside of section 7. Section 7 of this resolution is the section that covers the vexatious requester procedures, where we have to document every minute that we are spending, producing records, requires us to keep that tally and whatnot. So no wild variation from what y'all have already. It's, again, just trying to get everything in one spot. I will entertain questions. Director Fobb, you want to start?
I have no questions.
Okay. Director Madrano? No? Okay. Director Frankie?
I'm good.
Director Dudo? No. Director Jones?
No.
All right, there being no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we adopt the resolution as presented for the policies establishing reasonable rules on inspection and copying of public information.
All right, we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Madrano is the second. Suzanne, do you mind calling the roll, please?
Director Jones? Yes. Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fobb?
Yes.
All right, the ayes have it. It is unanimous. Item 11G, authorize filing the district's revised district registration form with the TCEQ. Suzanne, do you mind?
No, this is in your packet on page 60, and this is your old one. So we're going to file, a lot of people ask me what it is or what it looks like, so I just put it in here so you could see. I will be updating this information to include our information at the top, and I'll update some of the other information that's here with regard to your consultants. The question that I have is, I noticed that y'all all appear to have listed on here your personal addresses and your personal telephone numbers. Is that something that y'all want to continue with?
Those aren't, that's not a personal phone number. I think those are the signed phones, but I don't have one, so that.
Yeah, I don't, and none of us have those phone numbers anymore, so
So what we usually recommend is we can either put down our address and our phone number for your business, or we can put down Infomark's.
Okay.
Whatever is you feel most comfortable with.
Why don't you put down the Lockridge? Yeah.
I just need a motion to.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we'll just need a motion for us to make those changes and submit to TCEQ.
Okay. I move that we authorize the filing of the revised district registration form listing information for the new law, using the new law firm.
And I'm sorry, did you say y'all do not have those phone numbers anymore?
Yeah, they're gone.
Were they all district phones? Is that what
They were
all
just.
had their own, and they chose to do away with them because
Okay.
it was just a.
And is it the board's druthers that we include Infomark's phone number then?
I thought you said McGinnis.
Oh, you did,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you did, okay.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
My
I've got the
apologies.
McGinnis's on there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry I interrupted.
Yeah.
Director Frankie made the first motion, is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, Director Jones makes the second. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Faub,
Yes.
Director Madrano,
Yes.
Director Frankie,
Yes.
Director Dudo,
Yes.
Director Jones.
All right, the ayes have it, it is unanimous. Item 11H, addendum for proposals. Directors, if you'll flip in your packets to page 62, you'll see a one-page document there that has, 8-point font, 10-point font. This is not anything that you're required to adopt, but I'll tell you why we put it in front of you. As with, I'm sure it has been your experience, a lot of contractors that we bring in, they'll have a scope of services and the layout will say, we're gonna do A, B, C, and, X cost, but there's not any kind of contractual terms that come along with that. And everything you see in here is very much boilerplate, but they do have built-in protections for the district in the event that we do end up in some kind of breach litigation or breach situation. And essentially it requires them to carry certain insurance coverages. It requires them to indemnify the district. It specifies that if for some reason the district fails to enforce a particular term of a contract, that we are not waiving that right to go back and enforce it if we so choose. But the big takeaway for me, and it also spells out the fact that we are a tax exempt status. I don't know how many of your contractors will sit down and read this with a magnifying glass, but I'm sure y'all have had experience where you get bills with taxes added on them, and so obviously it's something that should not happen. But what we would do if the board chooses to adopt this is require anyone you contract with in the future, whether one-off type contracts, we would require them to sign this contract as a condition of getting the district's business, along with submitting the required 12 Form 95. And if there's ever any terms in the scope of services, or if they do have a contract that conflict with your addendum here, ours supersede under this agreement right here. So I'll answer any questions about it if I can, or if there are any.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this, is you're recommending that we adopt this as something that gets tagged on to every contract we enter into?
Yeah, I wouldn't say everyone, but certainly ones that don't come with an actual contract as a lawyer would describe it, well, let me take that back. Once you sign that dotted line, you've created some kind of contract, the odds are very high, but as far as the substantive provisions go, a lot of times we don't see those. That's what we don't see. So if there's, an involved situation, an involved project, an involved
Like for zone.
consultant, yeah.
Like your proposal for zone doesn't have an underlying contract.
Right.
So you would require them to sign this so that you get some of those protections.
But if you have, a much more involved project or something that's gonna require a much more substantive contract, this would go by the wayside.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it, okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Starting clock?
Yes, ma'am.
If we'd had this on the Fazone contract, could we have enforced him performing in accordance with that contract?
There's nothing in here that, there's nothing in here that says, if you don't do the job, we can sue you, because we can do that anyway. Again, this is very much boilerplate language, and if you look in here, you'll see, it doesn't speak to, that type of situation. We're talking about, again, minimum insurance requirements that the contractor's got to have to come out here and do business. They've got to indemnify the district, if they set foot out here and, they drop a brick on their foot, they don't come to us, like things of that nature. If they get sued by, a homeowner or something like that, they can't come after the district. And so these are just very simple protections for the district. But, if you're talking about a breach of contract situation, that's kind of a different deal, and that's not really what this is intended for. Any other questions, ma'am? Okay, Mr. Madrano?
Well, I'd like to read it, but right now I do not. I think I remember reading this prior to this. Isn't this in the state code, the Texas code?
You may recognize some of it because it is boilerplate language. Some of the workers' comp stuff might look familiar to you, but it's not anything I can point to and say this is all strictly out of statute. No, sir. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Madrano, at this point?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Frankie, questions?
I'm good.
Okay. Ms. Dudo? Ms. Jones? Okay. Mr. Madrano, you actually have 2 minutes and 20 seconds of your 3 minutes left. Do you want to finish glossing that over before we go to a vote?
No.
Okay. All right. In that case, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the contract addendum as presented.
I move that we adopt the contract addendum as presented.
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Frankie makes the motion. Mr. Madrano seconds. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Faub,
Yes.
Director Pedrano,
Yes.
Director Frankie,
Yes.
Director Dudo,
Yes.
Director Jones.
Yes.
All right, the ayes have it. 11I, proposal for installation of mailboxes within the district. Take any action necessary. Ms. Scales, I believe you have a proposal on this. I'm sorry, this isn't ours, is it?
It's page 21 of your inform packet. You'll have a proposal in there from AECO, also engineering code. This gentleman, this engineering firm regularly does installations and removal. So the quote in here for the 2,700 is both removing your existing and disposing of those as well as installing your new. And the cost to do so is 2,700. So the motion would be for the board to, the recommendation, should I say, would be for the board to accept this proposal to engage with AECO to install the mailboxes at Texas Oakway and Birch.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Scales?
That is it.
All right, Ms. Fobb, questions or comments?
Yeah, I am concerned, Zach. I'm concerned that this community project that was approved by the board, that you substituted your judgment for the board's and made a unilateral decision to interfere in a board decision regarding a community project because of your comfort level with the wife of a volunteer involved. There was no legal advice or legal opinion or likelihood that anyone was going to sue over the mailboxes, which takes us down to the next agenda item, or item 13, discussing privilege. My point to this whole mailbox thing is the whole Parks Committee is trying to engage the community and using resources in the community. And we had a volunteer group ready to install those mailboxes, and your interference stopped that. And I think that should have been done with a board vote and not because you don't get to make decisions for the board. So I'm not real happy to spend $2,700 of taxpayer money when we could have done it for free.
Okay. Anything else? You got another minute 42.
I'm good with that.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Mr. Madrano?
So this is using the contractor outside, the contractor was going to do it, right?
It was going to be done by community volunteers. Now they want to exactly prefer that a contractor do it.
Well, $2,700. We can assure it's done complete. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Ms. Frankie?
No, I don't have any questions.
Ms. Dudo?
Mackenzie, I just wanted to clarify, this includes, I'm sure it does, both sets of
Correct. It
clusters,
includes
right?
everything. He actually surveyed the area and saw the current mailboxes and knows we were replacing its 6 cluster boxes.
Right, yeah,
Yes,
okay.
it's all 6 for the quote.
Yeah, okay.
They take it away and everything.
They're gonna dispose of the current ones.
Well-
Obviously, we will need to engage the post office beforehand. I'll work with AECO to do so that way they can remove any mail that is currently in them. They'll install the new, we'll get keys delivered to I'm sure the residents from the post office, and they'll put in any additional mail from that point on, the post office will. So no contractor, as far as Infomark or anyone else will touch the mail in the boxes. And the contractor themselves even said, we won't touch it if there's mail inside of it.
Ms. Jones?
Do you know when they'll be up?
If we can get approved, I know he said that they didn't have a very tight schedule going on right now, so I'm hoping within the next week or two, we can hopefully get them out.
Awesome. Great, thank you.
I will address Ms. Fobb's comments. Yes, suffice it to say, I was very uncomfortable with the spouse of a person who a day, 2 days previously had dropped a sovereign citizen threat in front of every one of these board members. I was very uncomfortable with her spouse taking control of a piece of federal property. And suffice it to say, if I'd have been your general counsel, I would have very much advised you at the time to contract with somebody, not to have this be a volunteer committee, community engagement project, because if it's not done correctly, you have nobody to go after. So I stand behind my decision. I think I made the right decision. Now, if the board would like to overturn my decision, you're absolutely welcome to. You can say right here and now, Zach, by golly, we don't like your advice on that one, and we're sticking to the community project. And so this is your opportunity to do that.
Are you suggesting that we don't use community volunteers to do things in the
I'm not
district?
going down that road with you, okay? Any questions?
I agree.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to contract with the folks that Infomark has identified.
Okay, I move that we accept the proposal by AECO engineers for $2,700 to install the mailboxes.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Director Fobb?
No.
All right, the ayes have it. 11J, proposed agreed order from the commission. I believe this is a standalone document, I believe. Right, everybody has a copy of it, looks like this. Little
Oh,
TC.
I just gave you a copy. but I-
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I assumed everybody had a copy.
It's in the packet? Okay.
Is it in the packet?
No, it is not in the packet. I
Okay.
assumed that y'all already had copies of this.
Okay.
I just provided this for Zach because
What is
for the
it?
meeting.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah,
a,
so I'll go through this.
I was gonna say, I have another one if you want me to provide you.
Yeah,
My
so back in January, the district received correspondence from the TCEQ, an enforcement action, and I believe it was for letting the, correct me if I'm wrong, Suzanne, the MS4 permit lapse, is that what it was? Or actually,
That is correct.
McKenzie, yeah,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I said Suzanne, I meant McKenzie, I'm sorry.
Yes, that is correct, it lapsed by 13 weeks.
Lapsed by 13 days, and TCEQ did put out a proposed order, which is their standard practice. When you have a violation, they'll, generally speaking, they come to you and say, you've violated your permit, you've done this wrong, whatever it is, they'll come to you, they'll explain to you what you've done wrong, and they usually put forward a proposed order based on how you respond. The response, my understanding, was that Infomark said, we're going to jump on that, and the permit was subsequently renewed in a timely manner, or quickly, yeah, it was quickly remedied. And so accordingly, TCEQ is recommending in their proposed order an administrative penalty of $938 with a one-time deferral of $187 for a grand total of $751. I brought this, I had this put on the agenda because this is very much something that the board needs to be, one, be aware of, but two, the board needs to approve it. It is a binding agreement with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. So I want to make sure that the board understood what it is and what it is that you're signing off on. Once once you do agree to the order, it's just a simple remittance of the payment. They'll document it, and you will be in the clear, so to speak.
May I see that?
Yes, yeah, please, by all means.
Okay, I'll have 3 minutes here. So basically, if I'm understanding, they're saying, hey, you lapsed, you subsequently filed your paperwork, and we're gonna fine you some money, and that's the end of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's the 10,000-foot overview.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
And Infomark's paying the money?
We already have the check ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Director Duda, any questions?
Thank you.
Nothing? Okay. Director Jones? Director Fobb?
Nothing.
Okay. Mr. Madrano, any other questions, comments, concerns?
No.
Okay. With that in mind, that I would entertain a motion to approve the proposed agreed order from TCEQ.
One more question, so are we admitting guilt here?
It's not the phraseology that the TCEQ would use or I would use.
Okay, I was just sort of curious. Okay. I move that we accept the proposed agreed order from the TCEQ.
All right, we have a motion from Director Frankie. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, and a second from Director Jones. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fobb?
Yes.
All right, the ayes have it, the vote is unanimous. 11K, discuss attendance at the Association of Water Board Directors of Texas and the Capital Area Suburban Exchange Annual Conferences.
Haven't used that.
I don't
They're
know
both-
who this
they're
is.
both-
It may have been me, I don't know. How did we end up with this on the agenda?
Attendance for AWBD case?
Oh, somebody asked me to put it on the agenda.
Yes.
Okay, was that
yes,
you, Ms. Frankie?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, Ms. Frankie, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, so both of these conferences are in June. I think AWBD is in Dallas.
Fort Worth.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, it's
Close
north,
enough.
yeah. And Case is going to
Lake Conroe.
Lake Conroe. I'm not going to be able to attend either one of them, but I really encourage the rest of the board, especially Linda or Megan, to go to one of them. And what I would also like to do is establish some rules of costs associated with going. In the past, what we've done is we've had a motion where we say, the hotel's not going to be, it's going to be more than X dollars or something. And so that's all I wanted to say about that. I think the case is, the second weekend?
It's the 16th is the golf tournament, the 17th and the 18th are the conference.
And then I think it's the next weekend after that is AWBD? Okay.
So we'll be having our meetings prior to this.
Yeah, we would be doing our meetings prior to that,
Yeah, the conference falls on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So golf tournament and then conference is Friday, Saturday, I believe.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm trying to think. I think that a lot of times they establish a book of rooms or something like that, and the cost is, so we need to give me some language for a resolution as to reasonable and customary, as it relates to hotels. That's what I was going to say.
Well, typically, like you're saying, they have identified hotels, where they've already got a book rate or a group
Right,
rate,
right.
and so it's always like the hotel right where the conference is, and then it's the guys down the street, which may be a little bit cheaper sometimes.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how to form this into a motion other than to perhaps, any directors who attend will not be reimbursed beyond what the base rate for the hotel room is.
Okay.
For the conference.
Okay.
And then forgive me, do we have their ethics policy on hand? by chance? Okay. I don't recall off the top of my head in your ethics policy if y'all have adopted any kind of limits on per diems as far as meals are concerned. Ms. Prob nodding her head.
The
Do you
ethics
know off the top of your head?
Yeah, it does.
What the dollar amount is or something like
The
that?
dollar amount, there's a chart, it points you back to the IRS, and it gives you 15% over that, and the ethics policy, that's not my 3 minutes.
No, ma'am.
The ethics policy
I wouldn't do that to you.
does allows, like I said, it's location specific, time of year specific, plus 15% is written into the ethics policy. And if you go above that, you need board vote.
Approval, yeah.
Right, to do
So,
it.
so I think the motion is, again, to the directors, won't be reimbursed above whatever the base rate is for the hotels, but you're also, just keep in mind, still subject to your ethics policy.
Wasn't it travel too?
Yeah, your travels.
It's in there as well.
Definitely in your ethics policy.
Yeah, so you get, there's, so many cents per mile and all that sort of thing.
And part of my 3 minutes, because I'm not done.
No, ma'am.
I did do some checking in this from your case conference, and I did check with the Texas State Library and Archives Commission, and we are obligated to follow the rules of the state comptroller as far as receipts and what you can, the reasonableness of what you can do.
Right, no alcohol.
And so, no, it didn't say that.
What, really?
Well, I'm sure if you do it, you should pay for it yourself. And the golf thing would be paid for by yourself, those reasonable decisions. So, it's pretty clear. It's real easy to follow, and it's outlined very well, so.
I think that's sound advice, Ms. Bob.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion then that board directors attend either the AWBD and the case conference in June, and that that reimbursement for hotel rooms will be at the, what did you call it?
Call it the base rate for that hotel.
For the base rate for that hotel for the conference, okay.
Conference rate, you should call it.
What is it?
Conference rate.
Conference
Thank you.
rate,
Thank you,
okay,
Michael.
okay.
Leave it to the accountant, right?
He's done it a lot, right?
All right, Ms. Frankie has a motion on the board. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right,
Okay.
second from Ms. Jones. Suzanne?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fobb?
I hate to ask you to do this, but would you please read that motion to me?
Allow attendance at AWBD and case and reimbursement for hotels at the conference rate.
Yes. Thank you.
Told y'all she's good.
Okay.
I will tell you that the AWBD and possibly case, they provide you an envelope, and on the front of it, you sign everything. I mean,
Yes.
it gives you everything to put your receipts in, and it tells you everything that you have to provide.
Yeah.
So they make it really easy.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Suzanne. Item 12, Deed Restriction Committee Report, A, update on review of deed restriction rules and policies. Ms. Frankie, you kind of touched on that earlier.
Yes.
Is there anything else we need to go into
No,
detail on that?
I think we did everything that I wanted to accomplish on 11A.
Okay, so that's still basically pending up until next month, and then
Yeah.
we'll come back at that time. Okay. All right, that brings us to 12B, Restricted Covenant Enforcement, 3104 Birch Drive, including resolution regarding same. Directors, if you flip to your packet at page 64, there is a resolution there, and just by way of explanation, I was communicating with Director Frankie as well as Sage Management about this particular property. My understanding, based on the documentation that Sage provided, is that there have been multiple violations there over multiple years, going back as far as at least August 15th of 2019, just based on what I saw in the records. It may go back further. But Ms. Frankie asked me to bring this matter forward for the board's consideration, and you'll see in the resolution, the recitals spell out the fact that the district does enjoy the authority of deed restriction enforcement. It does spell out that there have been multiple ongoing notorious violations at 3104, that the district has made attempts to have the owners remedy that, but those requests have gone unheeded. And so the substance of this resolution is actually on page 65 in section 2. where it does spell out that the board finds that it is necessary to enforce deed restrictions upon 3104 Birch in order to sustain the taxable property values in the district. And for anybody who didn't already know, that's the property that the gentleman had the pictures of earlier in the meeting.
Okay.
That's my introduction. I'll go down the row. How about we start with you, Ms. Jones?
I just want something done. I feel bad for people that live near there, so that's
Okay.
really, the faster we can move on it, the better.
Okay, Ms. Duda? Ms. Frankie?
Okay, so I'm just going to ask the hard questions. What are we going to be able to enforce here?
So what we'll do is we will file a civil lawsuit
Okay.
against the residents.
Okay.
And we will prove up the violations to the court.
Okay.
And we will seek damages. There's damages that are laid out under the property code, as well as any and all of the district's costs that have been associated with enforcing at that property. Everything from your attorney's fees to Sage's fees, or any kind of fees you've had to expend in order to litigate that case, those will be covered as well. But we will also, more importantly, and the substance behind what we'll be seeking is not just an order from the court requiring them to clean up the property, but an injunction mandating that they keep it cleaned up. And
Okay.
if they violate that injunction, then they can be subject to arrest under a court order.
Okay. Now, does, when you're talking about court fees, does that include the fees from the previous general counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. What happens is whenever you get to the end of the lawsuit and you are seeking attorney's fees, the court requires you to prove up your reasonable fees. And so that'll require a tally from McGinnis as well as Mr. Flickinger's firm.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Madrano, any questions?
No, that's.
All right. Director Fobb.
I do have some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Can this deed violation be handled in small claims court?
No, you're going to end up in district or county court.
Is there a reason why that can't go through small claims? Because you can do property deed enforcement that way.
Yeah, they just don't end up there. That's all I can tell you.
No explanation for me. Are you filing in Williamson or Travis County?
I'll make that determination at a later date.
Can we know that before you make that filing?
No, I'll let you know after I file the lawsuit.
And Catherine, I'd like to ask, did you visit the residents that you agreed to do in October, explaining your position and your expectations, and what would happen if they did not comply?
I reached out to them, but I never got a response to them. And I wasn't, because the resident is difficult, I wasn't willing to put myself in physical harm's way to knock on the door. So.
Has anyone reached out, literally face-to-face talked with these people?
Jimmy and Diana have talked with them.
Okay. And I have one more question for you, Zach. Is your plan to apply the $200 per day civil penalty in your case?
I'll make that determination when I file the lawsuit.
Don't you think that's necessary for us to know before we
I'll make that
vote?
determination when I file the lawsuit.
You're not willing to answer me?
I'll make that determination when I file the lawsuit. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
You've got another minute 26.
I'm good.
All right. I think I already went around the room, right? Okay. So again, this resolution does direct the district general counsel to file a civil suit against the occupants of 3104 Birch Drive. Is there a motion to that effect?
I move that we adopt a resolution, what did you call it?
Directing your general counsel to
Directing-
file a lawsuit against 3104
Directing the
Birch.
general counsel to file a lawsuit against 3104 Birch Drive.
All right, Ms. Frankie has made the motion. Is there a second?
I will second that.
Ms. Jones makes the second. Suzanne, will you call the roll, please?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Fobb?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, and under the rules y'all adopted, Ms. Fobb, you'll need to explain why.
The billing history and fines levied on this account has been so mishandled and so disparate when compared to other long-term deed violations in the district that I will not participate in destroying this vulnerable family through the legal system. Although I wholeheartedly agree that cleaning up the front yard needs to happen. My absent vote is in protest of the inequitable treatment that has been brought to bear on this family over the past 2 years when compared to other families with long-standing violations.
That is definitely an explanation. Thank you, ma'am. All right, item 13, Attorney's Report. A, Director Fabra's use of confidential information. So I'm going to go back and just make a quick reference back to item 3, which is duties and responsibilities of the district's general counsel. Like I said at the beginning of the meeting, I don't owe a duty to any single one of you. I owe a duty to this district. I generally, as your general counsel, will take orders and carry out direction based on what 3 of you direct me to do. Obviously, there's going to be exceptions. If it's illegal, unethical, I will tell you no. That said, in corresponding with Director Fobb, I believe the first week after y'all engaged us, she indicated to me that she intended to share my communications with her to a third party, at which point I informed her I will no longer be communicating with her through email or anything else in writing, because once I'm informed that a director intends to take my attorney-client communications, which are privileged and only a board as a whole can waive that, once I am told a director intends to do that, she has put herself in an adverse position to the district's interest. So that rule goes forward for everybody else. If I'm told you're going to divulge my attorney-client communications, then we have a problem. So do what you will with this information, but I want to make sure everybody knows on the board exactly what transpired, and I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to take any questions.
Oh, okay.
13B, sovereign citizen document presented to the board. This is a reference to the document that the Bowers, am I pronouncing that name right? Bauer?
As far as I know, it's Bauer,
The Bowers presented to the board at the end of your meeting, I guess last month. In reviewing it, I recognized it immediately for what it was, which is basically a feckless sovereign citizen document, if you can even call that. When I prosecuted, I dealt with a lot of sovereign citizens. For those of you who are not familiar with sovereign citizens, they take a general approach that the law doesn't apply to them when it suits their needs, or they find laws that they think that do apply to their situation and they attempt to apply those arbitrarily or otherwise. I can tell you these folks are a concern. The FBI watches sovereign citizen groups. They have been linked to fraud, intimidation, murders, and I'm not trying to be dramatic. Go to the FBI's website, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So when I see a document from somebody like that dropped on directors' desks during a public meeting and then proceed to threaten those directors, my new clients, I take exception with that. So suffice it to say, the document that was presented to you is absolutely without legal merit of any kind. I think I talked to one or two of you at the time that y'all received the document, and hopefully I conveyed that to you at that time. But there's absolutely no legal merit to what was presented to you whatsoever. Questions, comments, concerns?
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to ask one for Linda, why she thinks that's funny. You were just laughing.
Let's have the questions and answering directed at me, please.
Can I ask you why that would be funny?
I don't have a good answer for that, but let's just try to avoid that for now. Okay. Ms. Duda, I'm sorry, you still have
No,
time.
I just think, we were threatened, and I don't think it's very funny.
Okay, understood. Ms. Duda?
So has anything else happened since?
Nothing I'm aware of.
Okay.
Y'all were the feet on the ground though, so y'all would know before I even would.
Okay, and so I'm gonna ask a high-level question. So what's the surety bond thing that this was all about?
They have latched on to this thing because they think that it's some kind of magic, I don't know, a piece of magic that somehow is going to invalidate your being a board member and elected official. Again, there's zero merit to it.
Okay, so the surety bond is a requirement, right? And once we become an elected official, that's one of the things that the board, the district buys for us is this surety bond. So, if somebody would actually make a claim against a surety bond, would the bond then be dropped and then the director no longer?
No,
Okay.
no, that would have to be proven up.
Okay.
It doesn't just go away like that.
No, I'm talking
Yeah.
about it actually happens. That's what it-
No, I'm saying that just because somebody puts an alleged claim on it, doesn't mean it just automatically they're gonna, drop that bond or.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Mr. Madrano?
To your knowledge, there's no pending lawsuit with that accusation in mind?
No, sir, not to my
There's no
knowledge.
legal action we have to take?
No, sir.
Okay.
Ms. Fogg?
It's not a lawsuit, is it?
No, I don't know, I said
I don't
it's
think
pending.
it- I'm asking Zach.
No, it purports to be some kind of legal action and it's framed up, so it looks like one.
There's no lawyers involved, is there, or a filing in court?
You don't have to have a lawyer in order for something to be a lawsuit.
Well, you have to file it in court, don't you?
You don't have to be a lawyer to file a lawsuit.
Okay, do you have to file it in court for it to be a lawsuit?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay, so, and that hasn't happened that we're aware of?
As far as I know.
I haven't heard of anything either, so,
Okay.
yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Next regular meeting date is scheduled for April 20, 2022, year of our Lord. Is that acceptable to everybody?
Right, so what is that, the third Wednesday?
Should be, I
The way I
believe.
understood it.
What days in April again?
April 20th.
And
It is the third Wednesday.
okay, and I recall correctly that the board chose to stick to 6:30?
Yeah, we're gonna do
Still want to do
6:30.
that? Okay.
I like that.
All right, well, y'all were pretty efficient tonight. Let's hope we can recreate the magic. I want to reiterate that everyone in this board will have an opportunity to participate. I hope you felt like you got a chance to participate tonight. Please contact me if you have questions, concerns about how I ran the meeting. I will listen. I'm not promising to make any changes, but I will absolutely take your input. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry, future agenda items.
Yeah,
I have a question.
Future agenda items. Let's run down our future agenda items real quick. Just want to make sure we're not missing anything. So we have the deed restriction
Right, we're gonna talk about
rules, so we're going
these.
to bring those back forward.
Yeah,
Rate
order.
Rate order, okay?
Go ahead and put something on there for Finsicrete and the resident that belongs to. I'll hopefully have an update or a response from them to bring to the board at the time for the portion over by Vestavia Ridge Pond. I can send you a more actual
Okay.
item.
Okay. All right, Suzanne, I'm sorry. I was about to run off and tear off into the night. Go
No,
ahead.
I have the
Can I
things
have
on
one
here.
question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Water accountability. You know I was gonna ask.
Oh, it's in my report. I will have an update for you next month. I have my operations manager. We've looked at your numbers. Everything from what we can see for all intents and purposes is correct.
So we still don't have a clue as to what's coming.
This time we don't. We've surveyed other districts. I've surveyed people from Houston. Everyone has reviewed your data, and so far we have nothing of light to say whether there
I
would
mean,
be.
it's a little better, but not much.
It's not. I'm not satisfied. I've been in constant contact with my ops manager almost all week. He's been in contact with Houston, so, doing what I can. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you yet. We've never run into this issue. We had a similar situation in another district. It ended up being, we found a very green area and determined that that was actually where the leak was, and it was keeping the grass green through winter.
Okay, so did we need to put something on the agenda for
It will be
next?
included in my packet, so it's covered under field operations update.
Okay,
I have a question. So going forward, any documents that we put forward, I bring to the board in a physical form?
okay, well, okay.
I'm
I
not
would
sure.
like everybody to start bringing their iPads and download the documents and have them on your iPad.
Okay, so don't bring physical copies to the board anymore.
I think we all need to bring our iPads and download them at home and make sure they're on the device.
We just need to know, because we need to know if you want us to kill the trees, we don't mind doing that. But if there's going to be, I just don't want to get here and 3 of us have them and two of us don't.
Me personally, I like to page through it.
Okay.
Okay,
I do. I like
What,
to page
how do we feel about this? Rather than us having to worry about who wants one and who doesn't, how about when everything is distributed, if you want to print a copy, you print it and bring it along? Is that
Yes.
fair?
Yes, I think
know
that's
it's-
totally
I know
fair.
it's a big chunk of paper, but I just don't
I looked
know.
at my email, I didn't get this today, so.
I didn't send it out today. I sent it out last week. I tried to send it out in enough time for everyone to review the documents, so you don't have to rush.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe I'll.
Just so I know,
Maybe I'll
I'm hard of hearing, so this helps me.
Maybe I'll secretly bring hard copies, but not tell anybody about it. Just in
but all
case.
I'm
Just in case.
responsible to include in my packet is stuff that we, as your general counsel.
We'll handle ours.
You handle all
Will
yours.
that be going up on the web as the attachments to the agenda?
I don't know.
That's up to y'all to decide.
Well, we've done it in the past, so
Yeah.
none of
I
it is confidential,
include-
so.
All of these documents are included as attachments to the minutes, but generally when I provide the executed minutes to Touchstone, I guess it is, I don't provide all the attachments. But I can send this little packet to whoever, to Touchstone if you want me to. Is
Well,
that
wait a
what you
minute,
want?
don't you send it?
It was coming from Bill's office, and he was CCing them on his email. When he would send it to the board, Touchstone was CC'd.
Got it, okay.
So is that what y'all want me to do?
Yeah.
So to the extent it's not attorney-client privileged information, I will
Yes.
Yes.
CC Touchstone.
Yes, yes.
And your guys' reports, you'll give them to her?
No, we'll still print ours.
No, I mean for her to have Touchstone uploaded.
I'll send ours to Touchstone when we send ours to the board. That way we're not doubling down and people are getting doubled.
Okay.
All right. There being no other business come before the board, this meeting is adjourned.
I need Linda and Catherine, don't leave.
Did anything get signed?
No, Suzanne's coming after you right now.
They want to
No, I'm talking about checks, all the checks signed.
Yeah, but I know I saw some circulating.
Okay, I was gonna ask you, why don't we have a motion to move money between our checking accounts?
Hold on, we've got a quorum here right now. and
Yes,
this is-
I'm back now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Why do we have to have a
Can we
motion
talk about this
to?
outside? Seriously, I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be funny, I just, anybody can apply.
That's Linda.
But if you just quietly talk to me here, nobody else can hear me.
I just want to understand why, consider moving money between the checking accounts and maybe a business operation. Why you have a motion to do that?
You really don't, it's just practices, you know, however y'all wanna go about that, you can, but usually what happens is those transfers are approved in the same motion as payment of the bills, so it's just kind of a standard operating procedure, but if y'all wanna do it differently, you can.
Okay.
But, you know, I think it just kind of falls into the best practices.
Okay.
That way nobody can ever come back and go, oh, we didn't know we were moving $90,000 from text pool over into the operating account, that type of thing.
Okay, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Didn't know that we were spending money.
And the reason we did is because when Mrs.
News to you?
Yeah, okay.
I doubt that. How are y'all?
Oh, look at it, I need a third.
That's what I'm here for.
I need a third.
Sorry.
So whenever things happen, as far as cuts and we have to issue work orders.
Well, next month is gonna be way,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter, it's gonna be much, faster, because we're not gonna have all those stinking resolutions to be made. So, I'm just in here though, thank you for reminding me, I was just gonna leave it.
Y'all changing any penalties or any provisions in there?
We might, and you know what, we didn't go over the, director's, per diems. It was on the agenda. I thought it was. Yeah. I loved your pictures.
Oh, did we like them? Did we like them?
Would you like to keep them as evidence?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. So your per diems are generally covered in your ethics policy. Do you want to revisit your ethics policy at your next meeting?
No, but I thought there was an agenda item when we talked about the per diems for the board, authorizing the per diems, I thought it was on the agenda. I could have sworn it was on the agenda. Let me go get it.
Thank you.
Where would you direct the
Oh, you mean this one here? Yeah,
It just kind of folds up into this one when you're
yeah,
approving
well,
all that.
I thought we were supposed to talk about it because there was a mistake on one of the directors. So we'll have to discuss it later on.
Or do you want me to,
Yes, put that on there because Linda had a per diem for a non-existent board meeting that we needed to discuss.
okay, so this, I can, you didn't technically approve it, so I'll just say that this wasn't approved and these need, I'll let Mackenzie know to bring those back for,
Yeah,
but, you know, those checks were just drafted. I mean, you're.
so it doesn't matter, because, you know, we can solve it next month. You know, trust me, we've had this problem before. But we need to, we need to be looking at it, that's all.
Okay, well, so next month, this is gonna be under your consent. Are you gonna pull it off?
I don't want to